tonight will fire demoralising Carlton. So says the banner. It's interesting too that one of their stars tonight plays his 150th game, and I speak of Matthew Larkin. Been going to the right in the first quarter. Martin has the job on Kernahan, and already a little bit of jostling there. The first quarter. Night football 92 from the MCG, the opening term, and the Southern stand looks absolutely magnificent tonight. Chance for Aythorne, couldn't get boot to ball. Gallagher, a fumble. Won't put that down as a clean position. Gleeson gets it out to Bradley. Carlton will make the first forward thrust. Bradley's kick up towards half forward. The two number fours doing battle there. It's going to be a North Melbourne ball. Chandler with the hurried hand pass over to German, and North Melbourne should be able to come away with this. This is Craig Scholl. We've got two Scholls out there tonight. Brett Scholl playing for Carlton. And Tim Watson tells me they are related. They are in fact cousins, as the ball is hustled over the boundary line. In front of the great Southern stand, number 18 is Wayne Carey. Will Hannah has the job on him. Great atmosphere.
It is a great atmosphere, and Chandler has lined up on our Siri, formerly of North Melbourne, in the back pocket.
Scholl, Gallagher, Rock. Look for someone going past. Spargo couldn't quite get there. Not the best of hand passes. Ball taken over the boundary line by Andrew Cavidan. I saw in Brisbane was KO'd and came back on. Very courageous performance. So boundary throw in on centre wing.
Gallagher against his former club, Cavidan. Gallagher with the left hand, taps the ground. It's a quick kick by Rock to the half-forward line. Hannah versus Carey. Hannah did it very, very well over to Aiken. Quick kick to the half-forward line. The mark is dropped by DeLulio. There's Gallagher. Oh, it was smothered by Spalding. Spalding on the left foot to the half-forward line. Michael Martin out in front of Kernahan. Traps it well, Michael Martin. Good play by the rugged fullback as he brings it into half-back, and he's found his man. This is Peter German. German to half-forward. The race is on. One-on-one. Oh, great trap. Donald McDonald. Ordinary hand pass. Ross Smith has a swing and misses it. Oh, gee, this is a good up-tempo game, this. Back it comes. Chandler from German to the half-forward line. This is McCarthy swinging onto the left foot. Good play by McCarthy into half-forward. They push and shove. Milhana with skill takes the ball away straight down the centre of the ground. A beautiful long kick. Some holding going on there. Spalding tried to tap it on. This is Ron DeLulio from 45 metres. He races into goal and misses.
Yes, he really should have nailed that one, Peter. He had plenty of time to straighten up and steady, and that would have been a great first kick tonight.
First score of the match coming up with the Blues, kicked by DeLulio. Spargo makes it lead. That's ignored by Martin. He's going to go long, and he goes to the outer side. Marking contest out there. Nobody can take it. DeLulio might get a second opportunity here if the ball sits nicely for him. It does. A quick kick, and he goes! First goal to the Blues. They lead by 7 points. And he has got a bit of pace, Tim, hasn't he?
He has got some pace, and there was a good knockback then. The ball was running free in the forward line. Julio ran onto the ball. He was under a lot of pressure from Peter German, and he just managed to dribble that one through over the line for a great goal.
So back into the centre.
Pete, he did have a reputation in the VFA as kicking miracle goals.
Free kick from the centre bounce. It's going Carlton's way to be taken by Craig Bradley. Blues doing all the attacking. Oh, mammoth spiral punt. Will it be a score? Knocked down by Martin. North defending desperately. German should get a free kick. Gallagher onto Rock, and they're clear.
Anthony Rock down the centre of the ground. There's only one man there to take it though, and Mark Aythorne. Ooh, could have watched that. But he did a very good job against Hawthorn. He took Paul Hudson right out of the game. There's the kick. Kernahan at the back. Martin did that very, very well. He goes into lender hand. Nearly a throw. Gallagher crashes his way through the pack. Anthony Rock. Now Craig Scholl. This is good play. On to Larkin. North Melbourne go forward again to the half-forward line. Beautifully trapped as the ball is kicked quickly by Archer to the half-forward line. Good mark to Sexton, but some holding was going on. And it was a free kick coming back to North Melbourne to McCarthy.
Yes, he was definitely held then by Sexton as he went for the ball, and I've been a little bit critical of the umpires in the past with the forwards for the free kicks for the forwards rather, and as if that's an indication perhaps they're starting to change their interpretation of the holding against the forwards.
John McCarthy, normally a great kick, lays back on this one, and it was a pretty ordinary kick, as he really did lay right back, Tim.
He laid back, and consequently when you do lay back on your kicks you don't get the distance in the kicks, and the ball barely went over the line then.
David Kernahan to bring the ball back into play. There's Scholl, Brett Scholl, playing against his former club. He was discarded by North Melbourne, so he's got a lot to prove tonight. That's Sexton, smothered off his boot. Players racing after it. Still at half forward for North Melbourne. A chance. Donald McDonald handballs it back. There's a quick kick. Spargo to the pocket. McCarthy at the back, flies. Couldn't take it. Here's a kick into the goal. Goal to North Melbourne. Kick by Anthony Dwyer. So the scores are dead set level, 1-1 apiece.
And that was great play then by Archer to get the ball down the field. I watched him play last week. It's his first game here tonight. I watched him play last week and I was very impressed with his style, and that set that goal up.
So a great snapshot by Anthony Dwyer, North Melbourne's first goal. Titanic opening at the MCG. Back into the centre. Gallagher wins that one down, taps it down to Spargo, and he does finally get a kick at it. Little toe poke out towards the centre wing position. Crocker racing for it. Aitken will get there first. A good shepherd applied. Mark Arsieri takes the mark, and he plays on. Martin again. Gee, did Martin kick that out on the full? He might have. He has done. And Kernahan will take the free kick.
No, Pete.
Well, it's the other way round. Well, crowd thought...
No, it is the other way around. Yes. It's going back to Carlton.
Thank you.
That was poor play then by Martin. All he had to do was see the ball over the boundary line, and somehow he managed to get his foot to the ball.
Kernahan almost playing on there. Silvani made a dummy lead, I think. So he goes back into the goal square. And Kernahan looking for options. Pretty bad angle he's on. Finally decides to have a shot. It's not bad. It's a goal. Steve Kernahan gets his first and Carlton second, and the Blues lead 2-1 to 1-1 at the MCG.
That was a terrific goal. Kernahan really wanted to lay the ball off, and he was looking for a lead. He decided to go for the check side, a punt, and it curled back beautifully for a fantastic goal, and Carlton really have started this game off well.
Great kick by Steve Kernahan to get the Blues' second goal after an unlucky mistake by Michael Martin. Back into the centre, tapped down by Cavidan. There was a free kick once more at midfield. It's going this time to the Blues, and Cavidan carrying the ruck responsibilities well so far. Kicked with an awkward kick to half forward. No mark taken. 150 gamer Matthew Larkin. Good turn of speed and a good shepherd by Fairley.
Good play by Larkin. A long kick to the half forward line. McDonald taps it to the ground. Bradley at the base of the pack. Now a chance, as we see coming around. Spargo in towards goal, but the mark taken by a man who's really in form, Mil Hanna in that last line of defence. Did a big job on a star for North Melbourne, Wayne Carey. Cavidan the flyer, good mark. Very strong overhead, Andrew Cavidan.
It's better every time I see him, Pete.
Brings it in towards centre wing. Spalding in front. Fairley at the back. Well done by Earl Spalding. Hand pass over the top. The pace of DeLilio. Oh, he's nearly unloaded. Oh, the players went in very, very hard at half forward for Carlton. A very important game, Tim, and the players mean business.
This game has been started at a furious pace, and I was just thinking then when Earl Spalding got the ball, he'd be feeling very much at home being back here at the MCG.
Well, the bounce at half forward, Gallagher. Oh, he did it well. He's improving in his ruck play. That was Scholl to the half forward line, almost to mark to Carey. That was Hanna. Quick hand pass, comes back towards Jose Ramiro. Ramiro, a high ball in towards the forward pocket. Thump the ground, Peter German. Handballs back. This is Anthony Rock from 60 metres. Sets it up for McCarthy at the back. Will fly. It's a loose ball, but a push in the back. And it will go the way of Carlton.
Elvin in the hands of the trainers.
Free kick to Mil Hanna, where he handballs instead.
Elvin copped a nice one in the pack. Aiken's kick Out towards Arsiri at right half back, who takes the mark. Arsiri goes around the boundary line. Spalding in front. Ball kicked off the ground. Scholl should get there first in front of Fraser, in front of Bradley it is. And he'll take the ball over the boundary line in front of Belulio. Boundary throw in, centre wing out of side. 17 minutes left in the first quarter. Alvin seems to be okay.
And that was about as professional as you could possibly play a ball near the boundary line, that one.
There's no question of a free kick there. Spalding in front. Gallagher wins out. German. Prominent early. A good sign for North Melbourne. Delivers the ball long and low. No mark taken on the forward line. Hannah tracking his man to the boundary line and sees it safely over for a boundary throw-in. As Peter McKenna said, in top form so far this year. 2-1 won the score. McDonald, number 25, against Caverton. And it's won by the Big Mac. Spargo. It was Archer, actually, the newcomer. And they look very alike.
Did they ever?
And this is Kernahan. I think, Tim, you rate him one of the best fullbacks in the league.
I think he's a terrific player, Kernahan.
Gallagher. Larkin. Tackled by Aythorne. There's a free kick going Carlton's way. It will be taken by Craig Bradley. Craig Bradley almost at the true centre-half back position. Bradley kicks to half forward. Long kick. Kernahan into the back of Martin, who appeared to be held. North Melbourne supporters looking for a free kick. There was none there. Gleeson, short kick. Arsiri, front position, couldn't take the mark. North defending desperately, but they're doing it well. They're answering the challenge. This is Ross Smith. Smith short of right centre wing. Spears the pass down towards right half forward. Not that well delivered. Aitken should get there first, and he takes it over the boundary line for a throw-in. At right half forward for North Melbourne, some 70 metres from their goal.
And each time Carlton have gone forward, they really have just kicked the ball long and high to their key targets, hoping that their smaller blokes will crumb the ball if it hits the ground.
Here's Peter German on the right foot, trying to hook it back in towards the pocket, tapped over the line by Sexton, and actually hit the behind post, so it'll be a throw-in. The Blues lead by 1 goal in a frantic opening to this game. Two very evenly matched sides. Donald McDonald to do the ruck work on the forward line, takes front position and taps it with, or tries to, with the left hand. Elvin gives it back to Gleeson. Gleeson, oh, well done. Good skill. Adrian Gleeson in towards the centre of the ground. 2-on-1. Punched down by Scholl was good play. Rock caught. Gets in a hand pass. Ross Smith with strength. Well, very unlucky there. Tim, what do you think?
I thought he was very unlucky there.
Alvin to centre wing. McMartin doing the right things on Kernahan. He's playing in front and he's racing hard at that ball as he always does. How'd you like to put him in a dark alley?
I think one of the new skills of the game is taking the ball over the boundary line without look like you're taking the ball over the boundary line.
It's become an art form, hasn't it, Tim? Rock in the centre, loses out. Arsiri's got the ball behind his back. Could be an art form as well. Aythorne. Bradley marks just inside the line. Peter German stands the mark. Lead being made by Earl Spalding, who should know the MCG pretty well. Bradley nodding, to whom I'm not quite sure. Another signal. We'll find out what they all mean shortly. He's got in short. Whatever it was, it didn't work out for Carlton. And it's out of bounds. It was Delulio who kicked the first goal. In fact, he kicked the first 7 behind, the first 7 points of the match. Kernahan taps down. Ross Smith. Short, high kick to no one in particular. Didn't have too many options. And a good seesawing contest so far in the opening term. Ball to centre wing. 2-on-1 in favour of North Melbourne. Ratton should get there first. Now, that's not part of the art form we were speaking about, Tim, is it?
That's one of the new skills of the game of AFL football.
Number 11 there for North Melbourne, Glenn Archer. One of the rookies for the Roos. Over the top, Caverton, Aitken. Looks for the free kick, and somebody jumped on him there. That was one of the things the umpires were going to crack down on too. Aitken with the free kick to centre field. Larkin takes the mark. On to Gallagher. Here's a forward move for the Roos. Scholl, long kick.
Well, here's the kick into the pocket. Carey, he ran past the ball. That allows Hannah in. This is where they'll miss John Longmire. John Longmire leads very, very well from full forward. Gallagher doing well.
He is.
And a good mark. Now he's playing on. He's got a loose man in the pocket. This is poor defensive play. Now, is this Archer or Spargo as he flies in the goal? He's missed. And the two of them, the two lookalikes, I'll wait till he gets up here. And I think it's Paul Spargo. It is. 1-2, plays 2-1. There's Wayne Schimmelbusch and Keith Gregg. What about those two, Tim, for great players?
They were terrific players, weren't they? I think Wayne Schimmelbusch is probably one of the greatest players I ever saw play the game.
This is Michael Sexton about to bring it back into play. I think we're in for a sensational game here tonight. 5 points the margin, but it's a good, tough, hard game. Crocker, discipline, gets it to ground. This is Anthony Dwyer from 50 metres, brings it into the pocket. The lead is on. Oh, the mark not taken by McCarthy. He butters up again, goes to ground. There's a quick hand pass. Players in hard at half forward. The Blues defenders try and bash it out clear. Here's DeLilio. They did that well, Carlton, because North were really in the van. Here's a chance at centre wing to Jeff Chandler. Chandler, the short one, and he found his mark. Jose Ramiro.
Always a pretty busy player, Jose Ramiro. Centering kick from the right centre wing position. Marking contest, none can take it. McDonald takes the flip out. Now the umpire's found the free kick.
Actually, I thought the one before that was a throw. I thought that was just tapping the ball on.
Exactly what I thought, Tim. They've gone mad on this throwing the ball. He definitely tapped that.
Siri to take the free kick. And he decides to go for the hand pass. 11 and a half minutes left in the opening term. David Kernahan's kick down towards half forward. Spalding. Crowd building up here all the time too. The two number fours. Martin at the back. Silvani goes down. Kernahan recovers the better. Left foot snapshot is off target. It might even sneak in for a behind. Yes, it's just done that. So Jeff Chandler will pick the ball up. And as Kernahan registers a minor score.
And that was a great bit of play then by Earl Spalding. He was out of the contest for the mark, but he followed the play down and actually got the crumb, and that's exactly what a coach wants his big man to do.
Archer off and Allison on for North Melbourne. And Ross, no, it's not Ross Smith, Chandler will kick in. They look like two. Of course, Spargo wears 1 and Glenn Archer wears 11. It's like when we had the two crackers. One was 3 and one was 8. A bit difficult early on. Now Fraser Brown. Curly here, Silvani had a magnificent game against Hawthorn. Chandler and DeLulio tracked the ball over the boundary line, and it will be thrown in under 11 minutes left in the opening term.
That was a poor kick then by Brown. He really should have hit DeLulio with that pass in the forward line. He was on his own.
Gallagher's done well so far. Now the ruckman gets a finger at that. Bradley, Silvani, good tackle by Smith. Ball spills free. And North Melbourne through Peter German are going to get clear. German, as I said before, in the thick of things in the opening term. Marking contest down there, and Sexton takes it away for Carlton.
They've got to do better up forward, North Melbourne. A strong Carlton defence out pointing them at the moment. The kick off the ground by Gleeson. Here's Fairley playing without a boot. Gets in a hand pass to Lilio. Very impressive. Oh, now, that was exactly what North Melbourne did a moment ago. Crocker, round the corner there. Umpires have got to be consistent. He tapped that up exactly the same as what happened down the half-forward line for North. And there he is, and Fairley without that boot.
Fairly inconvenienced.
Gallagher versus Cavidan. Tapped the ground. Spargo. Now it's Scholl. Goes in to get it again, but in the meantime the ball had gone over the line. Adrian Gleeson directing his ruckman where he wants it. Scoreboard shows Carlton leading by 1 solitary kick. They lead by 6 points. Here's Peter German. Now Gleeson with pace on the left foot in towards full forward. Kernahan in front. Oh, there's almost a good attempt. In fact, the mark has been paid. It was a very, very good mark too at half back, and it was Brett Allison.
Richard Dennis.
It was Dennis actually. Rock. To centre wing, another good mark. This time it's Donald McDonald. Conditions very good here tonight. I'll certainly miss Longmire. He complements that forward line with that very, very quick leading. That could have been a free kick to North. But
there was no one to kick to then, Peter.
Sexton to Kernahan. And they are falling down up on the forward line. There'll be a few worries up there for Coach Wayne Schimmelbusch, Kernahan to centre wing. Spalding in front, the ball hits the deck. That's Sexton. Swings onto the left foot. Smothered by Gallagher, was good play. Still in play as Ross Smith races after it.
Smith tries to hook the ball around. Rebounded off a body. Arsiri. No one can take the mark down there. Good block by Dennis. Martin. Spalding should shoot from there, but does. An atrocious kick. Slews off the side of the boot and will be out of bounds on the opposite side of the ground. And Earl Spalding gets up just a trifle sore.
It was a great smother then by Fraser Brown, and he really is noted for his the tough things and the hard things he does in his game of football.
Sort of things that don't come up on the stat sheets. Tim Dennis, after taking that good mark. Chandler or Larkin. Larkin it is finally. Crocker and Kernahan. Crocker's long kick. David Kernahan at 8 can punch the ball clear. Back it comes down to Scholl. That's Brett Scholl for Carlton. Spalding a chance in front. Dennis likewise. Arsiri broke clear. Silvani should kick a goal. It's rushed through. The ball just did not sit for him. North Melbourne can breathe easily.
I was watching Stephen Silvani all the way through. Then he elected not to go up to the mark. Richard Dennis left him and went to spoil the mark. He stayed down, and it appeared that he would kick the goal in the end, but he managed to trip over his size 12.
He's still playing without that boot.
Well, it's the recession, Pete. Fairly. 2 Carlton players up, and Cavidan, as I said, getting better every time I see him, takes a good mark. He's taken a couple of nice grabs tonight. Ross Smith in front, uncontested. David Parkin would not be happy about that. Peter German coming in for kick number 7. German kicks up inside the square. David Kernahan tries to punch the ball clear. Back it comes to Fraser Brown. Unloads with a long hand pass, and Carlton through Aythorne will swing into attack again. Not Aythorne, it was Kernahan. And the North repelling the thrust once more. Kick up by Rock to centre wing. Larkin does well in a tight situation. Ratton will get it to Kernahan and turn back to Ratton. Now Aythorne unloads with a long hand pass. Kick down by Fraser Brown is short towards left half forward. Rock puts the head down, does well. Nearly comes out with the footy. Ross Smith to Gallagher.
Well, Gallagher's been very impressive. On to German. German inside or outside, actually. That was to Ross Smith. A clever little chip pass to Jose Ramiro. Now they have to do something. He brings it into half forward. Oh, big chance for a mark. Oh, it's not taken. It allows Alvin in there. Letting Carlton off the hook up forward. Now Crocker off the ground. Can they make something of this? Great tackle. Now that should be holding the ball. Oh, don't tell me he is. Can you believe that, Tim? That was a perfect tackle. Have a look at this. He's got the ball. Tackle. Bang. Gone.
He did try and go round him too. Then I think Stephen Kernahan was very lucky not to be pinged then for holding the ball.
The difference of being in front of goal. I hate to say it. You see it time and time again. Here's McCarthy. And that tackle should have been rewarded. Now they're in after it. Alvin. Further afield to Gleeson. Gleeson to Bradley, and Bradley marks at half back.
I'm sure Bill Della would have noted that for his "What's Your Decision?" The umpires get lectured by video. Gleeson. Chandler in front. He's doing well down there in defence. Arsiri trips him up. Chandler comes out with the football. Well, nearly did. Probably could have got a free kick. Aythorne transfers play up towards half forward. Spalding. Mark or free kick. Alvin, 45 metres out and directly in front, and kicks it like a half-back flanker, Tom Alvin, and puts it through for only 1 behind. So a point to Carlton, 2-4 is their tally.
And there's nothing more than a backman likes to do is run down the ground and kick a goal, but often the sight of the goals in front of him is too much for the backman.
Spargo we saw making a lead. Dennis goes to the outer side. Dennis, of course, playing against his old side, the former side. Rock, always busy, likes a run, kicks down to half forward. Hannah gets front position, didn't come out with the football. Applying plenty of pressure to Carey. Rock again. That's more like the forward play North should be seen doing. And a fine grab taken by John McCarthy.
That was a great bit of play then by Wayne Carey, who was hopelessly out of position when he went back then with Milan Hannah. He got the ball, He managed to turn, handball, and then that was a beautifully weighted kick to the lead of John McCarthy.
Brayshaw comes on for North Melbourne as he takes his kick, which results in only one behind. So bad luck for the Roos. That shot for goal coming up by McCarthy.
And I thought John McCarthy then ran a little bit close to the mark. Peter, what did you think?
And he laid back again. That's poor kicking for a key forward.
Fraser Brown.
Well, it lets the side down, doesn't it?
It does. Has the mark. Tom Alvin having more ground than Burke and Wills. Wills the operative word this weekend. Punching the ball away as Ross Smith. It's out of bounds on centre wing as Sexton races back to his position. Boundary thrower next to the interchange area with just over 3 minutes left in the term.
Centre wing. Gallagher is doing well versus Kernahan. Gallagher with the big fist. Larkin also doing well with a hurry kick to the pocket. Oh, the pack go up there. Very strong defence, Carlton. Here's Bradley. Caught. Gets in a hand pass. Spargo has been in good form this year. A high floater. It'll bring rain, that one. McCarthy sets himself the big leap. Over the back, a chance for Brett Allison, trying to get onto that left foot. Now he does. Hooks it back at goal, Allison, for a brilliant goal.
Good move by Wayne Schimmelbusch to bring him on halfway through the term. He's got North's second goal and a trail by a point.
That was a great kick then by Paul Spargo. He was right out on the half-forward line, and all he did was try and put the ball back about 10 metres in front of the square, where it's a very dangerous ball. John McCarthy made the contest, and Brett Allison did the crumbing, and he spun around on his left foot for a beautiful goal.
Back into the centre. A point the difference, under 2 minutes left in the term. Arsiri kicks Carlton forward. Their forward line pretty open at the moment. Martin overruns the ball, but they should be able to get away with this. Scholl kicked into the mat on the mark. He gets backup support from Martin. Didn't kick it as long as he would have liked. German was having a great quarter. Scholl back towards centre field. That's almost a mark to Kernahan, who was unlucky not to be penalised for holding the ball in the goal square. Down at the other end of the ground, Aythorne marking in front of Matthew Larkin. So time on the wing. Plenty of time for both sides to score. We've got 2 minutes left in the term. Silvani ducks back, if I can borrow one of Peter McKenna's phrases, but he didn't come out with the ball. It's taken over the boundary line by Ross Smith. Anthony Dwyer. Gerard Healy has some news.
Yeah, he came off after a heavy clash on the half-forward flank, Peter, and the doctor suspects he may have some broken ribs, so they're just checking that, and we'll let you know more at quarter time.
Paul Spargo, who's been in magnificent form this year, to the half-forward line, and that was good play by Rock, the way he forced his way to front position. There he is, the little terrier of a rover.
And Richard Dennis is doing a very good job down there on Steve Silvani this quarter too.
Dead right, Tim. He's got a lot to prove too. Discarded by Carlton, of course. There's Bradley going back. Well, it's Bradley receiving. And that was from Fraser Brown. Larkin looks as though he's in for a good night. Alvin. Marcasiri in towards half forward. Spalding as the flyer. Couldn't take it. Socket off the ground and doing well, Michael Martin. Two down there at fullback. Fairly. He still hasn't got that other boot. Now Crocker just took his eyes off it as Spalding came at him. Now Michael Martin, he won't take his eyes off it. Look at that. So he picks it up. And Martin, a long kick into McCarthy, who went far too early. And the mark has been taken by Sexton.
Half a minute left in the quarter.
And Steve Kernahan is on the ball, and Cavendi's gone down into the forward pocket.
I thought he was covering a bit of ground. Ball drops a little bit short. It's a North Melbourne mark to Martin, who has had a pretty good first quarter. Jose Romero into the pocket, and the mark for North Melbourne taken by John McCarthy, I think just inside the line. And of course he's only got 4 seconds left. This will have to be a mark to Romero. He can't take it, and so there will be no further addition to the score at quarter time. Good quarter of football with both sides really testing each other out. Carlton leading by a point, 2-4 to 2-3. When he's displeased, he certainly seemed to be having a few words to say down there. Nice to have a mic on him, wouldn't it? Second quarter from the MCG. Carlton leading by 1 point, 2-4 to 2-3. North Melbourne going to the left in the second term. German, who had a great quarter for North Melbourne, gets taken high. Nothing for it. Silvani Gleeson can run into an open goal from 35 metres out directly in front. Kicks truly, but not truly enough. And only one behind.
Well, he should have nailed that one. He really didn't have much pressure on him when he went to kick that ball. It was good to see Steve Silvani getting a touch so early in this second quarter, because he was very well held by Richard Dennis in the first quarter.
Michael Martin, who had 4 kicks and 3 hand passes in the first quarter, did particularly well. Spalding up in a big pack of players. Nobody can take the mark. The ball's still there to be won. And Darren Crocker, it is to come out with it. A gutsy mark taken by a pretty gutsy player as a rule. And I know Peter McKenna would nod to that. Rock kicks to almost midfield. German, and he's playing a magnificent game. That's his 8th kick. 12 possessions so far for Peter German. Inside 50. No mark taken. Ratton unloads with a quick hand pass. On the end of it is Aitken. He kicks to midfield.
Spalding is the flyer. But North Melbourne rebound. This is Crocker. Darren Crocker. They need someone to take a mark. McCarthy in front is the flyer. Oh, good mark. Great mark, McCarthy. Or is it?
Yes, it's McCarthy.
It is McCarthy.
Got one coming down, I think.
Or is it Carey?
No, it's
In
McCarthy.
fact, it is Wayne Carey, I think. No, it's McCarthy. It's a big leap and 3 or 4 bites and a good strong mark, and that's where they've been falling down, Tim.
Yes, it was interesting to see they did that time kick the ball from almost the centre of the ground straight down the ground, and I think if you kick the ball into the forward line quickly, then you give your forwards a chance.
John McCarthy from 20 metres kicks, and he has goal. So that's his first, and North Melbourne hit the front. They lead 21-17.
That's John McCarthy's 3rd shot at goal. He really probably should have 3 goals on the board by now. That was a very strong mark. He actually has got his leg heavily strapped.
Back into the centre. North Melbourne in front by 4 points after McCarthy's first goal. He's had a couple of shots, but that's his first major. Spalding, who landed heavily after a marking contest, comes out of the centre with the footy. DeLulio off the ground. Interesting effort, but all to no avail. It's out of bounds on the full. He kicked the first 7 points of the match, Ron DeLulio. A clever goal from the forward pocket was the first goal. Chandler will kick in, no score this time, of course.
And one of the things you must not do when you're a backman is go to the ground then like Richard Dennis did.
Chandler's kick to the outer side. Gained some 50 metres for his side. Out of bounds, boundary throw in. Martin having a great duel with Kernahan. Kernahan having a stint on the ball late in the opening term. Gallagher sets himself for the throw in. With Earl Spalding. Won by Spalding. Tried to find DeLulio with it. He heads across the boundary line in front of Scholl.
And Peter, I've been watching Paul Spargo and Craig Bradley tonight. I've been trying to work out whether or not they're playing on each other. They seem to be giving each other plenty of latitude.
Fairly. He played a good proportion of the first quarter without a boot. Scholl again tries to farm out a hand pass. Rock is on the end of it. Now some space for North Melbourne. Larkin, game number 150, kicks down to full forward. And again, the forward's out of position. David Kernahan in trouble. Is he holding the ball? Yes, he is. Well, his brother got a bit of a let-off in the first quarter when he was caught plumb with a footy up at the other end of the ground. David not quite so lucky, Tim.
No, not so lucky that time. He's grabbed the ball and dragged it under him. And Donald McDonald has tried as hard as he could to get the ball and reef it out of there. But the umpire has deemed that that's holding the ball, and now Donald McDonald will line up almost directly in front and probably only 20 metres out from goal.
And John McCarthy had a shot for a goal, almost the identical position. McDonald kicks and McDonald goals. So McDonald's first goal, Carlton 2-5, North Melbourne now 4-3.
That ball that went into the forward line on that occasion, kicked by Matthew Larkin, it really should have hit his target. John McCarthy was on the lead, and Matt Larkin had plenty of time, but as the ball spilled to the ground, North got the free kick and eventually Donald McDonald's kicked the goal.
Well, a handy little break that to North Melbourne. 10 points. There's Donald McDonald, and really David Kernahan couldn't argue with that one. He did hold that ball underneath him. Got to make some attempt to get rid of it.
And usually the bloke that's tackling isn't helping your cause at all. He's generally has his hand or something on the ball that is stopping it from going out from underneath him.
Sounds as if you've done it a few times, Tim. Now, centre of the ground, they really need Larkin firing. He's played a very good game so far, Matty Larkin. This is Ratton. McDonald hotly pressing him. Good play, Donald McDonald. Ratton to the line, deliberate. Or the umpire said a throw or deliberate, it wouldn't matter. Donald McDonald, the short pass, Jose Ramiro, and North, you get the feeling they're starting to really mount something, Tim.
They've started this second quarter in fine fashion. They really are running hard all over the ground, and that was very good play then to play straight on and keep the play moving.
Well, Jose Ramiro, and the umpire letting Jose know where the mark is. The Carlton player on the mark will run up about 5 metres. Jose normally pretty good around goal, and there's Millen Hanna trying to put him off. Ramiro normally pretty accurate, kicks a goal, it looks good, and he's kicked it. Well, North Melbourne getting away from Carlton, 5-3 to 2-5.
As North have started this second quarter in fine fashion, and that's their third goal in the second quarter. And Carlton really will have to do something. What they need to do in this occasion is probably take the ball straight out of the centre and get it into their forward line quickly. The North boys have been getting the ball into their forward line very quickly.
33 plays 17. North Melbourne with 5 different goal scorers now, but they've started the second term well. Gleeson for Carlton overruns it. The chance for the Blues through the agency of Scholl. The ball rebounds up towards half forward. Aythorne should take that tap on. Now at his fourth club, 50 metres out. Aythorne kicks it, goals, and gets it. A quick reply. So Mark Aythorne putting through his first goal. Couldn't have come at a better time for Carlton. They trail 3-5 to 5-3.
And that was terrific play then by Earl Spalding in the centre of the ground here. He held the player off and knocked the ball over to Mark Aythorne, who had all the space in front of him then to kick the ball long, and a much needed reply.
Back to the centre, where again the margin is 10 points in favour of North. Very timely goal, that one for the Blues. Oh, there's Mark Brayshaw, former West Australian, crashing his way through the pack. Brings it in towards the pocket. There are the high flyers there for North. Now it's Allison to swoop in on the base of the pack. Brett Allison takes it over the line. It'll be a throw-in at half forward for North.
Peter, I'm just trying to pick up Wayne Carey was back in the pocket then as the ball was bounced, and Mark Brayshaw lined up at centre half forward.
Well, Steve Kernahan taps it back towards the line, and it's well documented that Steve Kernahan has trouble seeing at night, Tim, wears contact lenses.
Yes, my old teammate Simon Madden has a similar problem, and in fact I suggested that we put the rattle in the ball at one stage.
There's Hogg getting it to Elvin. Matthew Hogg, the former Footscray player, of course. The ball at centre wing. North racing after it. Was that a throw? It was, and I don't think anyone could argue with that one. And the kick will go to Bradley, who's been pretty well contained so far.
Craig Bradley from left half-back flank for Carlton. A little bit of a stutter. Now finally kicks up towards the edge of the square. Silvani taps the ball further forward. Chandler and Arsieri tangle. No free kick for that. Silvani again. German. Good tackle. The ball spills free. Silvani once more. Looks for DeLulio. Alvin loves a shot at goal. This time Tom has kicked it through for full points. So 2 quick goals to Carlton, and once again the difference is only 4 points.
There was some terrific play then. Some of the tackling then from the North Melbourne players was fantastic, but the Carlton boys kept coming and coming and coming, and finally, after that brilliant tackle then by Peter German, Silvani got the ball out, and Tommy Alvin, who'd followed the play right down the ground, straightened up to kick a very nice goal.
The last 2 goals have been kicked by Carlton. They trail by 4 points. Centre of the ground, Anthony Rock. Oh, look at the pressure. Rock comes to ground. Crocker straight up in the air. Ross Smith runs straight at the ball as he always does. He never takes his eyes off it. Ross Smith to the pocket. Brayshaw. Mark Brayshaw, better known as the defender, brings it in towards the pocket. The lead was on. The kick comes to Ramiro. Oh, good skill by Jose Ramiro. Back it comes to Brayshaw. Brayshaw in towards full forward. Hannah was held. Carey! Oh, yeah, no, the umpires found the free kick, and I think it was there. As I said, Hannah was definitely held, and the umpire very quick to pick it up.
See that in replay, yes. Held him by the arm. Well picked up, Pete. Ball up the centre wing. Still might be a North Melbourne attack, though. Carlton tackling well, like Bradley did then. Spalding can't come out with the football. North Melbourne through Scholl looking for a free kick. Bradley's hand pass was a bad one. Peter German, North Melbourne's most prolific kick getter at the moment, and the Blues will come away with this again. Curtahan's hand pass there was taken by Hogg. It's up towards midfield and Bradley. Aitken. Marking contest down there. Silvani up. Chandler rose the pack well for the Roos. In favour of the member stand side with his short pass. It's a bad one. Crocker was late on the scene, but there will be a free kick to Scholl.
Silvani's hurt behind the play. That doesn't look good. Ankle, I think.
Looks that way.
Yes, he came down awkwardly after flying for that last mark, and I think he's hurt his ankle.
Brett Scholl. Maybe too far out to score. Silvani will come off. We'll come back to him in a moment. Almost a mark taken down there by Cavidan. Should have taken it, actually. Scholl. The North Melbourne version. Allison attacks the ball with gusto. He'd remember this ground well. It was where he took that sensational mark. Steve Silvani comes off, one of the more luckless Blues. He's just back this year after a knee reconstruction.
That's bad.
Coming on to replace him, one of the veterans in the Carlton side in Meldrum. Ball back into play. Hannah from behind. Carey, a short kick. Roos ball. Allison from midfield. Right on 50. Shoots at goal. Is off target. And Brett Allison puts it through for only a minor score. So his tally is 1 goal, 15 minutes left in the second quarter. 5-4 to 4-5.
Don't like the way Stephen Silvani's ankle was, well, hanging so limply. Well,
swaying in the breeze.
It was really, wasn't it? You know, like, it's not too good. There's Brett Allison. Now Fraser Brown taps it on straight to Brayshaw, who's done well since coming on. Here's Ross Smith. Clever little chip pass. And if Carey can really get into the game, Tim, to make an enormous difference to North.
North look a much better side when Wayne Carey fires, and I think that Wayne Schimmelbusch probably had a few choice words to say him at quarter time, because he looks like a different player in this second quarter. He's moving around a lot more.
Wayne Carey from 52 metres. Oh, beautiful looking drop punt. It swings back. That is a great kick, a goal. So again, North kick clear, this time by 11 points.
Allison coming off and Archer coming back on.
As a chip kick across end from Ross Smith, and it set Wayne Carey up. He probably kicked from about 55 metres out for goal, and Steve Cannon almost touched the ball on the line.
£11 points the difference. 14.5 minutes left in the half. Oh, going through solidly there was Archer, who's just come back onto the ground. Martin tries to punch the ball clear fairly onto Dennis. Dennis to the outer side. Got some support out there in Ross Smith, who takes the mark just inside the boundary line and just inside his own defensive 50-metre line. Spargo in front. Can't take the grab. To German. Good hand pass. The ball, will it sit in the middle for McDonald? It won't. One of those mongrel bounces. Couldn't do much about it. Carlton ball now through Scholl. On the end of a long hand pass. Kicks into the goal square. Gleeson at the back. He might recover okay. Off the ground, DeLulio for his second. DeLulio, the first player on the ground to kick more than one goal. He kicked the first goal of the match. And Carlton hit back again. 6-4 to 5-5.
Well, that goal was set up from the centre of the ground when Donald McDonald was unable to control the bouncing ball in the middle of the ground, and Craig Bradley got a handball over the ball, went down into the Carlton forward line, and their crummers did the rest. And Delulio looks a very lively player.
Well, he's kicked a couple of pretty good goals, made something out of nothing there.
5 points the margin. What a game. Centre of the ground, Jose Ramiro. Oh, well done. On the right foot, kicks it to the wide open spaces. The race is on. Number 28 for North Melbourne, Anthony Dwyer, back on the ground. Beautiful skills to full forward. The ball hits the deck. Brayshaw was there. Taken away by Aiken. Aiken the chip pass. He found Marcus Siri. Good defensive play by Carlton. Now it's Brett Scholl. Long hand pass over the top. The dangerous Bradley. Bradley will bring it in towards full forward. Players racing at the ball. Oh, it's tapped on by Chandler, which was good play. Bradley caught. Gets in a hand pass. Meldrum from 40 metres straightens up, brings it in towards goal, and two North Melbourne players collide, but they eventually take the mark and it's through fairly. But Chandler is hurt. The kick to the half-back line. Peter German's had a good game. Peter German, plenty of time, cool, calm and collected, finds Michael Martin. Now it's Ross Smith. Smith to the pocket, Archer in front, can't take the mark, it's thumped away by Ratton and over the line, and Chandler is up and about.
And speaking of injuries, let's go down to Gerard Healy.
Yes, well, Carlton's gang of four is now 3 because it's doubtful whether Stephen Silvani will come back onto the ground. He's got his left ankle very heavily wrapped in ice and is very doubtful.
Boundary throw in, picked up by Dwyer. There's already kicked one good goal for the match. The ball bounces into the square. McCarthy trying to tap the ball back. That was good play. Tried to find Brayshaw, and that has rushed through for one behind to North Melbourne. 6-5 to 5-5. One straight kick the difference. 12 minutes before half-time. This crowd has built up considerably since about halfway through the first quarter. Sexton will bring the ball back. Aitken makes a lead. He'll kick to the members' stand side. Tremendous night football. Scholl had the front position. That's the Carlton version. Couldn't take it away. Aitken can for the Blues. Chips it in short up towards the centre wing position. Scholl couldn't take it. Ball kicked out of the pack there by Delulio, who's been pretty busy and rather effective in the forward pocket. And Craig Scholl ponders this boundary throw in. 11.5 minutes to go. In the top game of football so far. Even money the betting before the match got underway. Ramiro, who can usually make something out of nothing, nearly did there. He gets it to Larkin effectively. Larkin, getting on his right foot, hooks the ball across his body. No one can take the grab up there. Hanna runs straight at the ball. Carey sees it over the boundary line in front of him as Adrian Gleeson gets up right on the 50-metre line. So North looking dangerous in patches, like they did last week against Hawthorn, but they had a bad third term. Outscored their rivals in 3 quarters. Archer. Hogg applies a shepherd. And Carlton will get clear. Gleeson from Bradley was good football. Gleeson again gives away the hand pass. Aythorne kicks down to the centre half forward position. Tried to find Spalding. Here's Arsiri with a snapshot directly in front and bounces it through. Scores level. Arsiri's first goal, a great game of footy at the MCG, 41 points each.
There's a great bit of roving then by Mark Arsiri. Mark Aythorne kicking the ball straight down the ground, not to anyone in particular, to a space, and then the Carlton little men doing the rest of the work, and that was a great bit of roving then by Arsiri.
Scores are level at the MCG, 6-5 apiece, 10.5 minutes of play left before half-time as Gleeson kicks to half-forward. The umpire calls play on now. He's playing holding the man, and it will go to Ian Fairley. Former Williamstown VFA star gets it wide to Paul Spargo, who was given plenty of space. Spargo into the pocket was a shocking kick.
Pete, I can't believe how much latitude Craig Bradley and Paul Spargo are giving each other. They really are out there on a mission to see who can get the most possessions tonight.
It was Fraser Brown receiving from Hogg. Oh, Bradley goes down.
Might be a booking, is it?
Now that could be a book. No, it's going to be 50 metres. against Spargo. Not a lot in it.
It's the closest they've been all night.
But let's have a look. It definitely had to be 50, very late, and just a little clip across the ear. But certainly not reportable. Craig Bradley, but it has cost North Melbourne 50 metres, which Wayne Schimmelbusch won't be too happy with. The kick into the pocket. Kernahan at the back, and no doubt about it, Steve Kernahan, not as good a player at night, is he, Tim? Well,
you really think the lights affect him, do you?
well, they tell me he doesn't see too well with those contact lenses, and certainly seems to save his best for day games. He'll probably kick 5 in the second half after I've said that. There's Fraser Brown. Well done. Gets in a hand pass. Gleeson. Further afield. Caviton from 50 metres. Andrew Caviton, a long floating kick, hits the post. Bad luck for the youngster.
One behind to Carlton. As the clock ticks down to half-time, 9 minutes left, and the Blues hit the front by that margin. One behind. Peter German to kick in. He's had an excellent game so far. He's had 10 kicks and 5 hand passes. Kicks out from full-back, of course, don't count for those stats. Scholl up in front, couldn't take the mark. Crocker takes the hand pass. It was from McDonald, and away he goes. He could just about kick a goal, Darren Crocker, from right on 50. Low trajectory kick into the square, but a good mark by Sexton. Taken in front of John McCarthy. Hogg in front and takes the mark in front of Brayshaw.
Pete, that's where they missed John Longmire when they're coming down the ground. They missed that lead.
Yes, he would have known what was going to happen there. Tom Alvin, who's made his presence felt today. Alvin has kicked 1 goal himself. Boundary throw in about 75 metres from goal. North Melbourne's left half forward flank. Caviton, Ratton, Hannon. On to Alvin. Alvin from midfield. Kicks across the ground. Marking contest out there. Meldrum tries to flick the ball out to Arceri, who finally gets it to Spalding. Spalding's hand pass effective. That was DeLulio kicking it goal. He might have got another one. He has. DeLulio has kicked 3 goals. 7-6 to 5-4.
And DeLulio, recruited from Box Hill at the end of last season, is proving a real live wire on the forward line. That's 3 goals, and it's not even half time yet. And he's done them all in pretty smart fashion.
Seven points the margin. The Blues have hit the front. Gleeson with a big fist to the half-forward line. The pressure on North Melbourne again. Here's DeLulio. Hand pass over the top of Siri. Trapped that beautifully. Now Meldrum on the left foot fires a goal. Another great goal to the Blues. Well, terrific football by Carlton. This burst has taken them on to 8-6 to North Melbourne. Stagnant on 6-5.
Well, the first 10 minutes of this second quarter belonged to North Melbourne, but the last 5 or 6 minutes Carlton have hit back with a vengeance. And here we see DeLulio again handballing the ball over the top to Arceri, and Paul Meldrum, who has kicked plenty of goals in his career, putting that one onto his non-preferred left foot for a goal.
Change being made by North Melbourne as the ball is bounced in the centre again. Allison's going to come back on. Brayshaw gets the hand pass onto Spargo. Spargo to German. Alvin's tackle late. Kick inside 50. Ramiro, has he got a chance to recover? He can. Sexton, a good tackle. Ball rebounds to Ratton. Archer in pursuit. He's kicked out wide. Too wide for Fraser Brown, and Ross Smith boundary throw in. Who came off, Pete? Did you see?
Down the ground. Down the ground.
To be taken by Fraser Brown. I just saw Allison come back on. Oh, leap by Spalding. Alvin. DeLulio. Oh, got one for his corner there. Craig Scholl. Tackled by Brett Scholl. Chandler. Scholl again. Meldrum tried to kick it off the ground. It's a free kick. It's going to be taken by Scholl. And DeLulio, as I said, he got one for his corner there. And on a cool night, which it is now, they can hurt. He's okay.
And the pressure applied then by the Carlton forward line was absolutely fantastic.
Brett Scholl, one of the Blues rookies, be keen to do well tonight. kicks from 48 metres and goals. His first. The goals are being shared. Only one player on the ground has more than one, and that is Ron DeLulio with 3. And Carlton with a purple patch late in the second quarter, a la Hawthorn last week in the third term. Here's the free kick in replay. Good tackle. Chandler caught with the ball, and the umpire paid it. So the Blues on a roll.
What can North Melbourne do? As Peter Landy said, the roll, and they've got to stop it, North. There's Craig Scholl getting it on to Spargo. But Carlton have really lifted. This is Fraser Brown. Good play to DeLulio. Chandler ran hard at the ball. So did Spalding. And it's a free kick to Chandler.
4 goals in 6 minutes they've kicked, Pete.
Short kick across to Rock. You really have to get something going here, North. Pressure time for them. They've got 5.5 minutes before half time. Brayshaw drops a mark he should have taken. Here's the dangerous Bradley. Aythorne. Back to Bradley. Bradley in towards full forward. Kernahan in front. Has it thumped away. This is the youngster, Len Archer. Obviously possessed with a lot of ability. Ratton. Caught. Heaves it away. Hannah. Straight to Brayshaw. Here's a chance for North Melbourne. The leaders on, it's a shocking pass. Aiken in front. It hits the deck. Where are the North Melbourne little men? They're not there. Now it's Scholl. He goes to ground. Allison went without it, and they're giving it away far too easy up on their forward line, North. Aiken with the centre of the ground. DeLulio takes the mark.
19 points the difference. DeLulio a live wire on the forward line with 3 goals. Martin up. There's a push-out, says the umpire. And Martin has a few words to say. Can you lip read?
He
no free
pushed
kick.
him out then.
Academy Award performance.
That was a chest and sucked in the umpire.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not allowed to push the blokes out with your chest, though.
Of course you can. You hold your ground with your chest, and he did everything right. Michael Martin was Academy Award performance.
He pushed him underneath the ball with his chest.
Tim, didn't he
He
accentuate
took a
it
dive.
really?
Well, if you feel a bit of contact in your back, of course you've got to push yourself forward.
Come on.
Steve Kernahan kicks it goal and gets it. His second goal, and Carlton go further ahead, 10-6 to 6-5.
And Carlton in the last 5 or 6 minutes have been on fire here.
Have a look.
And watch this, Peter. He definitely pushed him
chest.
underneath the ball.
Now, hang on, he's got his chest.
Look, he's pushed him with half his body. That was definitely a free kick.
No way.
But you're right about Steve Kernahan. He's having trouble seeing the ball.
Well, we're back with the centre. And Carlton with a good lead. And they've played a terrific 7 or 8 minutes of football, the Blues. They've got right on top of North. Umpires Brian Sheehan and Michael Viney. Cavidan, the left hand, Crocker. They've been falling down on the forward line, North Melbourne. Now they really need someone to do. Allison waited at the back. He's got to get in there and help those bigger blokes, Brett Allison. He's just waiting round the back of the packs, hoping it'll come to him.
Yes, I think the Carlton players have definitely taken over the crumbing in this last 10 minutes of play. And what the North Melbourne boys need to do now is start getting the ball around the packs, because they aren't getting any drive at all around the packs.
Well, here's their chance here as a quick kick was by Richard Dennis to the half-forward line. McCarthy goes to ground. Brett Allison. Well, he lost it that time to Scholl. Scholl trying to hook it back in front of goal. Carey is the flyer. He had 3 men to beat. Here's a chance. Carey off the ground has missed. But they need goals. And they need that man firing, Tim.
They do need Wayne Carey firing. He started off this quarter a little bit better than the first quarter, but he's been very quiet since then. And, I would like to see him playing up the ground a bit further. I think he's a much better player when he's got room to move.
Aythorne in the back pocket, 24 points the difference. This is Hogg, forming of Footscray. Kicks to centre wing. Meldrum got a fingernail to it. Shoots out the hand pass in front of him. That opens it up for Bradley. Did he keep it in? No, he did not. And so with 2.5 minutes left before half-time, the Blues will go in with a very handsome lead. At one stage kicking 4 goals in 6 minutes. Cavidan taps down. Ramiro roves the pack well. The Blues crummers have been much more effective. Aythorpe in front, couldn't take the mark. Comes out with the ball as Carey went down. Fraser Brown on right centre wing. Short pass for Carlton. Up towards his almost look-alike, and Bradley nearly running out of room there with the good tackle applied by Archer. Martin. Good tackle, Steve Kernahan. Spalding went in with gusto. A hand pass comes out to Ramiro. Over to Big Gallagher. As the clock ticks down to half-time. Larkin, can they make something of this? Spargo on the run. Up towards Sexton, who punches away from McCarthy. Allison and Ratton. And Ratton will go for the boundary line. He's got assistance there from Sexton. And the Blues tie it up again.
And Pete, I just wonder how long it would be before Wayne Schimmelbusch takes Paul Spargo away from the centre and puts a tag on Craig Bradley, because I think Craig Bradley really is cutting up North Melbourne at the moment.
Cavidan to Gleeson, who was grabbed when not in possession, and he'll take the free kick.
And also, Spargo has broken away about 3 times, Tim, and kicked the ball straight up in the air to the forward. He's got no chance whatsoever. So he's got to learn to direct his passes in low.
There's Bradley taking the ball on his chest again.
21 possessions so far.
Yeah, killing them, Bradley, particularly this quarter. There's Kernahan at the back. Martin's actually done very, very well down there. Ramiro. Scholl. Kernahan versus Gallagher.
Gallagher came off second best.
And the umpire will bounce right out in that wing.
Not wanting to harp on it, but I think that Craig Bradley's possessions have been a little bit more damaging than Paul Spargo's. And I think the time has come when Wayne Schimmelbusch will have to put a tag on him and try and quieten him a little bit and allow Paul Spargo perhaps to play somewhere else on the ground.
Shoulder half forward, Allison. Well, he's got to put in a lot more effort. Now he's got it. In towards full forward. McCarthy, it was hell. Must be a free kick. And in fact, it could have gone to either of them. And Hannah looks as though he might have hurt himself. But both North Melbourne players could have received a free kick. I thought it was McCarthy who was more seriously interfered with, but Carey's ending up with a kick. Now let's have a look. McCarthy in front, and Carey copped it. And, well, both of them.
Yes, Sexton really was leaning on Wayne Carey then as he approached the ball.
Well, good thinking that by Wayne Carey. The siren has gone. It's a vital kick. Right on the half-time siren, and it went as he was about to run in. So he's taking his time, composing himself, and they really do need this kick, North Melbourne, to go through. Wayne Carey. Oh, it's a shocking wobbly kick. It was touched. A terrible kick by Carey. And it's only a behind. So at half-time here at the MCG, the Blues, after a great second quarter, lead 10-6-66 to North Melbourne 6-7-43.
Yeah. Mark Arcieri has been busy, 11 possessions up until half-time, but they really did lose the ascendancy, the North on-ballers in that last 10 minutes of the second quarter.
Third quarter at the MCG, Carlton leading by 23 points. The Blues going to the left in this term. Bradley, possession number 23. Spalding kicks the ball back towards midfield. Aitken bumped off it. Chance for Spalding again. Gets the hand pass back to Aythorpe. Crocker's block ineffective. Up towards Allison.
And Peter, Chandler has gone on to Craig Bradley.
And let's see if he can quieten him down. Bradley is already, as we mentioned, one possession against his name in the third quarter. Gallagher at the back. Well, that's an interesting one. Is he going to be paid it? Yes, he is. Because Spalding did have his hands on it as well. The umpire says play on. Fairley will do that. Fairley to right half forward. Hannah seems to have recovered from a little bit of a knock he got just before half time. He was limping, but seems to be moving okay. Silvani still off the ground.
He's done well, Hannah, on Carey, and he beat Tony Hall comprehensively when they played Hawthorn too, Pete.
In top form this year. Early days yet, of course. Cavidan in front of Carey. Gleeson, well tackled. Ramiro, a snapshot. That'll go close. Now Dennis, has he taken a mark? He has, just inside the line, and umpire Sheehan is going to pay it. But look where he's putting him. Very acute angle. The distance obviously is not a problem. Now this is a vital kick for North Melbourne's chances here. Dennis kicks at goal and gets it. And that's just the start that Wayne Schimmelbusch would have wanted in the third term. 7-7 to 10-6.
Yes, and Richard Dennis running back with the flight of the ball then. He's always been noted as a very courageous player, Richard Dennis. He didn't take his eyes off the ball, and then all he had to do was line up from almost point-blank range. I was a little bit critical then of Kavanagh at that throw-in, Peter. He knocked the ball down really in an attacking position, and for a ruckman, he should have been trying to push the ball perhaps towards the forward line, but as it was, he put it in an attacking position.
Well, North Melbourne don't normally lie down without a fight. Let's see if they can go on with it. That was Gallagher getting it to Scholl. Ooh, a wild boot. Rock gets it further afield. This is Ross Smith to the half-forward line. Is that a push in the back? It looked very similar to the other one of Kernahan. There's Ramiro having a kick at goal, and he slammed it through. Jose Ramiro has kicked his second, and North Melbourne fight back. 8-7 to 10-6.
And once again, we see the benefit of getting the ball out of the centre quickly. North Melbourne ball straight into their forward line. Perhaps a free kick then to John McCarthy against Sexton. But Jose Ramiro following the ball down, and a beautiful snap at goal.
So North back in this contest. 2 quick goals, and the difference is only 11 points now at the MCG. And again, getting the ball out of the centre. Can Chandler do it? He can't. Larkin, in his 150th, gets it over to Scholl. And here's another chance for the North Melbourne side. Sexton. Oh, gee, is that deliberate? They've played those before. Umpire Brian Sheehan says not this time.
Well, he didn't have anywhere else to go, really, did he?
Does that come into account?
Well, he's got to try and get it round the boundary line. But he did it well. I'd be a pretty brave umpire to play that.
There's coaches teaching that skill at the moment.
An acquired art it's become. Gleeson thumps the ball across goal. Let's see how Milhana can run. He seems to be moving okay. Fraser Brown goes educatedly towards the boundary line. No problems there. That's a boundary throw in 60 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. 2 quick goals by the Roos have got them back into this match. Not that they were out of it at half-time. Aitken slaps the ball down. Some soccer work by Kavanagh, and a little bit lucky perhaps. It didn't go out of bounds on the full, but they've gained about 20 metres.
Pete, I bet Wayne Schimmelbusch got right into them at half-time. He didn't look too happy at quarter-time. Imagine what he would have said.
I think he would have said just about the lot, Pete. Rock onto Carey. That's out of bounds on the full. As a Gale comes up, it didn't. So Carlton free kick at the left half-back flank, and it will be taken by David. No, it won't. It will be taken by Aythorne. Aythorne from left half-back. He goes in short, and a chance for Ratton. Long kick.
Centre wing. Oh, pack of players went up as the push in the back. It's going North Melbourne's way in that pack. And who is it going to? In fact, it's going to Brayshaw. Brayshaw wide, a one-on-one contest. Hogg in front. Over the back is Anthony Rock. It's socket off the ground by the Blues. Up towards half forward. Tommy Alvin leads Peter German. Cleverly gets it back to Meldrum. Oh, breaks the tackle easily. The North Melbourne player hurt. And there's a bit of courage shown by Ross Smith. We've come to expect that of him. German. Back to Ross Smith. And North Melbourne looking good in this third quarter as it comes in towards Carey. Nearly a good mark. Oh, Larkin brilliantly. Jose Ramiro on the left foot. Into the pocket. McCarthy back with the flight of the ball against Sexton and beats him over the line.
Brayshaw was the player hurt, Pete, in that exchange before that you mentioned. He got one a little bit too high and is groggy.
Yes, he ran into Paul Meldrum, and who really just bounced off him as Mark Brayshaw tried to tackle him.
Boundary throw in, knocked down by Kavanagh. Carey can't pick the ball up like a piece of soap out there. A little bit of dew on the grass now. Carlton free kick will be taken by Ratton, who goes across the goals. No, he doesn't. Tackled by McCarthy. He's caught him in the back. Oh, much a fortune. What did you think, Peter?
Well, I'll just ask the question, would it have been paid the other way?
Oh, he really rode him into the ground. Beat him. Is that English?
I think that one was play on.
This is Chandler onto Rock. Good hand pass. Centering kick by the little rover. Hannah taken out of the contest. Ball bounces free. Good tackle by DeLulio. Brown. Aitken. The Blues defending desperately but defending well. David Kernahan goes out towards the centre wing position. Ross Smith and Fraser Brown. Free kick North Melbourne.
Gee, North Melbourne have really lifted. You can see there's another 25% effort, Tim.
They've picked up the tempo, haven't they?
Ross Smith, a long kick in towards half forward. Carey in front. Caviton at the back. The ball hits the deck. The North Melbourne players swoop in on top of it. There's Rock. Gets it out to Larkin. Larkin trying to shuffle it over the back to Chandler. Chandler versus Hannah. Or could have been a free kick. It is against Hannah on Chandler.
That was very good play then by Matthew Larkin, just to handball the ball into space and try and create something from that pack situation.
Well, if he kicks this goal from 50 metres, they will only trail by 5 points. There's the kick. He won't make the distance, and it's thumped over the line and out of bounds deep in that forward pocket for North.
Hanging on to him.
Well, it had to be paid, didn't it, Tim?
Yes, he was definitely holding on to him there.
I'm glad you two guys agree for the first time tonight. Snapshot by Carey. McCarthy applies a tackle. Caviton will look. No, he doesn't look for a hand pass. He kicks the ball, a wobbly punt kick to the member stand side, only to see Ross Smith in the road, who takes that out. Not deliberately, says the umpire. Throw in 60 metres from goal.
Actually, Peter, we both said it was cold before, didn't we, Macca?
Oh, that's 2 for the night.
It's getting very chilly.
Gallagher. Larkin. Rock. Low trajectory kick up towards Dennis. Good hand pass. Crocker should go from there and does. Probably North Melbourne's best passage of play for the night. They trailed by 5 points.
That was great play then again by Matthew Larkin. That's probably his 4th constructive handball in this third quarter. Darren Crocker, who's been fairly quiet tonight, finished off that passage of play.
Five points the margin. A terrific start to this quarter. It's been all North Melbourne. Carlton through Meldrum, trying to take it away. It's socket off the ground by Brayshaw. Now there's 1 on 2 here. Spargo has 2 to beat, and he beats both of them. And kicks it wide to the line. That was good play by Paul Spargo. He beat Gleeson and Ratton on that occasion.
Yes, Paul Spargo, who played the first half of the game in the centre against Craig Bradley, has been shifted out of the centre onto the half-forward flank, and Bradley now has a tagger in Chandler.
Gallagher to do the ruck work, taps it down brilliantly. Larkin having a very good night. In towards full forward, Richard Dennis. Now a free kick down, no, a holding decision. Going to Richard Dennis, or is it going to McCarthy? No, it's Richard Dennis.
Peter, there's been a few holding decisions paid tonight. I wonder if the umpires have been given an instruction this week.
Carey at the back is marked. A brilliant mark. He had his name written all over it. And if Carey can fire, North Melbourne have a very, very big chance of winning this game.
That's mark of the night so far, isn't it? Top grab.
He really was in the right position then to take that mark. He had to sit on his Carlton opponent then. And Matthew Larkin, as you said before, Peter, has started this quarter famously.
There's the kick. North lead by a point. Well, Wayne Carey's kicked his second. Who would have believed this at half-time? 10-7 North Melbourne, Carlton 10-6.
North Melbourne kicking 4 straight goals to start this quarter, and Carlton yet to add to their half-time tally. Top grab by Wayne Carey.
That was a very good mark then by Wayne Carey. As you see, he's drifting in with the play. He really held off Milan Hannah then, who was in a hopeless situation and position to take that grab.
Back into the centre again. 4 quick goals to North Melbourne, and the game yet again takes on a different complexion. I think that was Ramiro that got that out. Knock on by McCarthy. Aythorne's there to try to get it away from him. 3 on 1. That's Sexton that finally shovels it out. Aythorne's kick will drop a little bit short. Alban behind German, couldn't take it. Spalding looks for DeLulio, who's kicked 3. Good Shepherd. Spalding taken down by Archer. Meldrum taken high by Archer. That should be a free kick and will be. One of the veterans in the Carlton lineup. The Blues looking for their first score of the quarter. North Melbourne defence in disarray. Here he is again, DeLulio. Kicks. And misses. One behind only, so he's kicked 3 goals, 2 so far. Ron DeLulio, former VFA star, and scores a level. Allison to kick in. Martin makes a lead. He's decided to ignore that and go long, or longer. Scholl at the back knocks the ball forward for North Melbourne. Ratton may get there first. A good turn of speed by him. Spargo tracks him to the boundary line. Ball very close to it. Keeps it in. No, he has not. A holding decision. Oh, gee, there's been a few of these in this quarter. It's a North Melbourne free kick. Spargo to take it.
Yes, and another move North Melbourne have made at half-time is they've put John McCarthy out at centre-half forward.
Good move that. He's a much better player up the ground, McCarthy. Here's the dangerous Bradley, who had that brilliant first half. Gallagher sets himself and takes it. I thought he was going to drop a sitter then.
And there's a lot of ex-Carlton and North players out there tonight.
Is there ever? Now here's the youngster, Archer, getting across to Gallagher. Reminds me of Big Bob Johnson, who played with Melbourne in the 50s. He's left footer also. Crocker really playing a good quarter here. In towards Carey. Pushes his teammate down. Here's Anthony Rocker. Oh, he ran into his teammate. Anthony Rocker around the corner. Marcus dropped by Carey, and I wonder if he could have shepherded that through, Tim.
Rocker around the corner. I thought you were going to say Rocker around the clock, man.
No, I'll leave it to Johnny O'Keefe. Now there is David Parkin, and well, I think Johnny O'Keefe sang it too, didn't he? Well, there's Hannah. Hogg. The Blues have to steady here. They've created the loose man, David Kernahan. The short chip pass is a shocker, and he's found Scholl. The thing's going right for North Melbourne right at this moment. Scholl in the half-forward. Anthony Rock has his name written all over it. He's got backup support from Crocker. Rock tries to throw it away, in fact, gets away with it. The quick kick comes back towards McCarthy. He's looking for an option. The short pass to the pocket. Rock has a look around, races back after it, traps it. 2 Blues come at him. Hannah's one of them, socket off the ground by Dennis, and eventually the ball rolls over the line. But what a good game of football this.
It's a great game of football, and John McCarthy really did choose the wrong option then. He went wide to the boundary line when in fact he should have gone to Jose Ramiro, who was about 30 metres straight out from goal.
He seemed to pause, didn't he? Maybe he thought a free kick was upcoming. Aythorne. Aitken. Nearly a throw. Kick out of the pack. Comes up towards Hannah. Will Hannah from right back pocket goes straight down the ground. Aitken. Archer late on the scene. Be a mark or free kick. Aitken from the true centre-half back position. Carlton looking for a score to reassert that supremacy that they had at half-time. Kernahan slaps the ball forward. Could have been a throw. Meldrum. Bradley nearly taken. A short kick barely travels the required distance. Spalding has got and will be paid the mark. So a chance for the Blues to add to their tally. They've got only 1 behind in this term. There's that mark again. Good juggle by Spalding. Oh, a couple of hands in there. Hey.
I think the umpire should have paid that probably half to Fairley, half to Earl Spalding, because Fairley really did help Earl Spalding hold on to that one.
I agree after seeing the replay. The umpire doesn't have the advantage of that. Spalding 50 metres out, kicks it goal and gets it. Earl Spalding's goal, a controversial one at that. Carlton back in front, 11-7 to 10-8.
Yes, and Earl Spalding, not known for his accuracy with his kicking for goal, and although he has got a new Guernsey, he has got that same old awkward kicking style, and really that one just floats through for a goal.
Five points the margin. Will it be Carlton's turn now as players race in after it? Scholl and Ramiro socket off the ground to centre wing. Asiri tries to get around Spargo. Good play by Spargo. Spalding battling away. Now it's Craig Scholl on the right foot to the half-forward line. Players converge on the ball. Ian Aiken punches it away. Pressure on as Fraser Brown goes in. Now the brilliant Larkin gets it to Crocker. Now on the Rock. The chip passes on. McCarthy underneath it. Can't take the mark. Goes on to try and get it again, John McCarthy. Taps it on to Crocker. Crocker looking for an option. Gets in a hand pass to Rock. He went without it. Now it's Bradley at half-back. This is a terrific game of football. Look at the pressure on Bradley. Aiken to Fraser Brown. Now Mark Aythorne. He's got backup support from Sexton. To the half-forward line it goes. Brayshaw read it beautifully over the back. Mark Brayshaw looking for the pass across the centre of the ground. He's got two players leading. All players waited back for it. Matthew Hogg versus Scholl. Now it's Larkin. Or was it Rock? Now it's Scholl again. And North Melbourne go forward. The kick in towards the pocket. The leader's on by Carey. Carey versus Hannah. Now it's Richard Dennis. Now it's McCarthy from the boundary line. Hand pass. Well done to Crocker. Crocker in towards goal. Hits the post. And that was Carey who gave that hand pass across. And that was terrific pressure by both sides, Tim.
This is a great game. And it has everything that you need in a great game of football. The pressure, the tackling, the smothering. And there was a terrific bit of play then by Chandler a minute ago as he brought down Craig Bradley.
Yeah, wasn't that a great tackle? This is Mill Hannah to kick in. Hannah goes straight down or straight up the ground, whichever way your preferences lie. And Kernahan doesn't let him down. Aythorne. Low trajectory drop punt to half forward. Allison in the road.
There's Allison in the back pocket. This is the third quarter.
Spargo, was he off? Spalding thought perhaps he may have been. Now he is. Kicks from midfield. He's doing a lot of the attacking in the third quarter. Steve Kernahan in the road though this time. Bradley, a well-executed hand pass. Crocker got him. Oh, was that in the back? It'd have to be. Gleeson with the free to a congested half-forward line. 3 North Melbourne players up, and Allison also down, and that's going to be pretty close to out of bounds on the full. It bounces just inside, and so a throw-in will take place. Allison not really under that much pressure then, so in that regard, not a great kick.
And Brett Allison, a much better player in the back line, I think, where he can see the play ahead of him.
So 4 points the difference. Boundary throw-in. Gallagher punches clear. Out it comes to Bradley. Long hand pass. Aitken, fast for a big man. Catch me if you can. Right on 50. Blazes at goal. Off the hands of the pack and through for only one behind. To make the difference 5 points with under 10 minutes left to go to three-quarter time.
Well, a great game of football, this, and I agree with you about Brett Allison, Tim. He's been a much better player since going to defence. I thought he was a poor player up forward, but he's certainly lifted in this quarter. And he's a very highly skilled player, Brett Allison. A beautiful kick. He's looking for Gallagher. Backup support from Scholl. He's playing very well, Craig Scholl. On to Chandler. Chandler to the pocket. Awesome holding going on. Nearly a mark to Richard Dennis. Socket off the ground by Crocker. The tackle is on. And the umpire said the ball was being held, and the North Melbourne supporters not happy.
Sometimes they blow their whistle quickly and sometimes they let it go, don't they?
Umpires tonight, Brian Sheen and Michael Viney. McCarthy with that big leap. Kernahan. McCarthy lays the tackle. Richard Dennis comes in to grab the ball. Handballs backwards. This is Craig Scholl from 30 metres. Fires it at goal and slams it through for a goal. So, North Melbourne hit the front. What a game of football. North lead by a point.
Yes, it's a terrific quarter of football, the third quarter. We see Richard Dennis then running away from goal and electing to handball further away from goal to the standing player Craig Scholl. And it is a very difficult thing to do, to stand and kick the ball like Craig Scholl did then. And it was a wonderful kick. He was about 45 metres out from goal.
Craig Scholl's first goal, and once again the difference is a point in favour of North Melbourne. McDonald is back on the ground, and North get it out of the centre through Rock up towards their half-forward line. Spargo. Scholl, can he make it 2 inside a minute? No, he won't, but he'll get it to Romero, who should goal from 15 metres out. He stabs and gets it. What a match. Jose Romero put him through his third, and he's the leading North Melbourne goal kicker again. 3 goals to him, 12-9 to 11-8. Well, it started from the centre, Tim. How important it is getting it out of the centre.
Yes, it is very important to get it out of the centre of the ground there. And Paul Spargo, who's been shifted out of the centre, has gone to the half-forward flank, changing ruck rover, and a very good handball, and he started this quarter in fine fashion.
North Melbourne by 7 points. Can the Blues fight back? That's the sort of game it's been, but North are pretty determined. Ross Smith in towards half forward. They've got a chance here, North Melbourne. Smothered beautiful. Oh, danger. Over the back is Crocker. Will it sit for him? He races to the boundary line, taps it back into play. Larkin, he taps it further afield. The Carlton players swoop on it. Aythorn on to Ratton, and the Blues get out of danger. On to Scholl. Two cousins playing tonight. Brett Scholl and Craig Scholl are not. Has allowed that to go past, and will be a bounce half forward for the Blues, but it's like a finals game here tonight at the MCG.
Jeff Chandler doing a good job in this third quarter. There he is, the tag on Craig Bradley, who has not had quite the same influence in this term. McDonald taps down. Ratton, Gleeson, shepherded by Sexton. 50-metre kick, 25 up and 25 down. Archer missed what he should have taken. Alvin takes advantage of his mistake. In towards full forward. Allison couldn't take the grab. Kernahan, snapshot off target and one behind to Carlton. Hit by Stephen Kernahan.
Yes,
May be wrong, but that could be his first score of the night.
Almost a costly miss then by Glenn Archer. He really should have nailed that ball, but it was wonderful recovery by Brett Allison, who went to the ground, got up quickly and put enough pressure on Steve Kernahan.
His first behind of the night, I should have said. Ross Smith kicks to centre wing. Crocker, good mark. Umpire has played it.
Played a great quarter, Tim Crocker.
Yes, they've shifted him up forward and he looks a much better player in this quarter.
Not a great kick. Mongrel punt. Hogg, just about thrown out. Aythorn takes advantage of it with speed. Low trajectory punt up towards midfield. DeLulio traps it well, puts the hand out, goes goalwards, won't score with that kick. Allison and Ratton. Allison grab, not in possession, one would think, surely, and he will take the free kick at right half-back flank.
Actually, it was Marcus Seary. He's just a slightly taller than Marcus Seary, and that's making all the difference down there, Tim.
Yes, most players are slightly taller than Marcus Seary.
I might say that. Libba wouldn't be. Well, here's Chandler. And it's surprising he hasn't played on Bradley all night, actually, because he is a terrific stopper. Here's the youngster, Archer, who looks as though he's got plenty of talent. An ordinary kick. It was meant for Fairley, but allowed Sexton to race in and kick it off the ground. Can he keep it in play, this young player? No, he can't. Glenn Archer, he'd be pretty nervous playing his first league game.
It is his first league game, and a young guy playing his first league game often suffers from nerves, but I think he's shown us enough tonight to have us think that he'll be around for a long time.
Well, he's just got that touch of class, now, hasn't he, Tim?
Yes, I watched him in the reserves last week and I was very impressed with him, and in fact I remember looking at his name up in the record, and I thought at the time it mightn't be long before he was in the ranks.
Centre wing, Larkin. The loose ball comes to North Melbourne. Spargo has been excellent. Spargo, the long kick into the pocket. Players set themselves. The big fly was Richard Dennis. He's looking dangerous down there. Crocker, still in play. Well, that was nearly out in the full, that. And in fact, it has been paid, and Darren Crocker will take the penalty kick. Now, he's right on the boundary line, and this would really lift the North Melbourne side if he could snaffle this one from the boundary. Darren Crocker will probably run out to the right a little bit and open up the goals. He does. Kicks a goal, kicks into the man. Still got it. Handball's back to Scholl. Scholl looking for Crocker. He might kick this one. Darren Crocker, he's got a second chance. Off the side of the boot. McCarthy is the flyer. It's thumped the ground. As players race in after it, Meldrum gets it to Ratton.
And Ratton, a clearing kick for Carlton. Aitken marking in front of Scholl. Aitken at the right half-back flank. Taking a couple of deep breaths before his kick. Hugs the boundary line, finds Gleeson. And the Blues well positioned to mount something here. Silvani and Martin. The latter slaps the ball, punches the ball down. They might be able to get clear fairly. Short kick. Didn't travel too well off the boot, but it was to the advantage of the side. And North Melbourne through Brayshaw. To the right forward pocket. Hannah will see the ball safely over the boundary line. Throw in 50 metres from goal.
And Mark Brayshaw not showing a lot of poise then. He looked back, saw that he had a player chasing him and really just flung the ball straight onto his boot when he really should have made more of that kick into the forward line.
Cavidan. Larkin overruns it. Fraser Brown doesn't. Kicks up towards the centre wing position. It's out of bounds in front of Brayshaw again. And also Meldrum. Boundary throw in under 4 minutes left in the third term. 3.5 minutes to be precise. A good quarter of football, especially by North. They've come back well after Carlton blitzed them late in the second. Opportunity for Gleeson now. Gleeson to Aythorne at his fourth AFL club against one of his former clubs. Spalding at left centre wing decides to play on. Not a good looking kick off the boot. Might be to the advantage of the side. Kernahan was looking for a free kick, or Carlton supporters were. And the captain goes through without it again. Chandler. Arsiri tackled. Did he have the ball? Martin. Centering kick from him. That's well delivered. And Donald McDonald takes the mark. Gets a direction from the umpire to play on. He's found Ramiro on the burst. Long kick. Over the head of Dennis. Hannah, was he into his opponent? No, says the umpire. Sexton kicks clear out towards the members' stand wing. Crocker. Onto Larkin. He'll give it back to Crocker, who's dangerous near goals. Shoots. It's going close. And gets the goal! Darren Crocker, a magnificent kick, just about goal of the night, that one. 13-9 to 11-9 at the MCG.
Yes, and there's been some great handballs in the history of football, but really, I think Matthew Larkin, when he's hot, he's as good as any of the handballs. Watch here as he gets the ball from Darren Crocker, holds onto it long enough to enable Crocker to run down the field. He drew his opponent, and Crocker managed to thread this one through for a fantastic goal.
Well, what a turnaround. 2 goals the margin, this time in favour of North Melbourne. Anthony Rock to the half-forward line. It's thumped away. He'll end up with a loose ball. It's Ian Aiken racing after it. Onto the left foot he goes. Oh, have a look at that for a smother. Tremendous play, and what a quarter Darren Crocker has played for North.
Darren Crocker is a much improved player, and this smother is inspirational stuff to his teammates.
Well, he went at that as if he really wanted to smother it. They've really lifted North. Here's Ian Aiken coming back into the fray. Hooks it around the corner. It'll favour Ross Smith. A quick kick, a clever kick in fact, because he's found out Jeff Chandler. Well, Chandler should get this down moving. They've got 2 forwards waiting for the big mark. Waiting at the back is Carey. Oh, look at the mark. Richard Dennis. A 2-pronged or 3-pronged attack. Richard Dennis across the face reminds me of Royce Hart at his best.
Yes, he's always been that type of player that floats across the front of a pack to take a mark. And the North Melbourne forward line, being aided by the ball being pumped into the forward line quickly, is looking a much improved forward line this quarter. Richard
Dennis, an ordinary looking kick. And that's a bad miss, because that would have made it difficult for Carlton. But close to 3/4 time, and a look of relief on the faces of the Carlton men in the background. There's Wayne Schimbush at the front. Wouldn't be too happy with that kick.
Milhana kicks in. 41 seconds remaining in the third term. Good knock on there by Cavidan into the open spaces. Tarkson on, by the way, replacing Arsiri. Meldrum looks for space at midfield and finds it. Still a chance for Carlton to score in this quarter, and it's a good mark. Take it inside the square by Tarkson. As I said, he's just come on. He'll have to be quick. Unloads, long at goal. Kernahan can't take it. Scholl, and the kick is taken for Carlton by Alvin, and he's got it. So Tommy Alvin goals just on the 3/4 time siren to make the difference. 7 points as we go into the final term. What a game of football.
That was terrific play then by Tarzan, who got the ball on very quickly, driving it forward, and Steve Kerr almost taking a mark. Terrific pressure by Martin, but Scholl getting around the opponent and handballing over to Alvin for one of his very few goals in his career so far.
2 goals tonight though to Tommy Alvin. Tapped down again by Cavidan. Time's running out. Gleeson, there's the siren. 3/4 time, and we have got a game of football. North Melbourne leading though. They kicked 7 goals in that term. 13-10, 88. Carlton 12-9, 81.
In front in the kick department and the handball department, they really handled the ball a lot more than Carlton in that third quarter, and it showed on the scoreboard.
Final quarter from the MCG, 7 points the difference in favour of North Melbourne. Fraser Brown, the first kick of the last stanza of the match. Ball still inside the centre square. Brown again, good tackle by Rock. Aythorne, a fresh air shot. Rock again, burrows in, no free kick forthcoming from the umpire. Aythorne off the ground once more, gets it to half forward. Albin, who kicked the last goal of the third quarter. Aitken, fairly in front. Should have taken the mark. Brayshaw gives him support. Tarkson drags him down. Have to try to take it out of bounds. Allison, has he kept it in? Would want to run out there. Or has it gone out of bounds? It has. And so it will be a boundary throw in Carlton's left forward pocket, about 15 metres from goal.
Fraser Brown, who we saw a moment ago in the middle of the ground getting the ball and getting a handball out, is a very, very tough customer, and he's always in there working, and he's a very good player for Carlton, and I think that he'd be the sort of player who'll go on and play a lot of football for the Carlton Football Club.
Gallagher and Spalding do the ruck work. Spalding with a forearm. Nobody can pick it up. Finally, Ross Smith, with a little toe poke off the ground, gets it out of bounds. Carlton gaining about 15 metres, so it's right next to the behind post now. A goal here would make the difference, only 1 point. This has been the scoring end. Gallagher in front, out to Chandler, who's still tagging Bradley. Bradley comes up with the football, gets it to Meldrum. That's about as far as they're going. Snapshot by Tarkson. He's got it. It's a point the difference. Tarkson's second kick, and really he's been instrumental in bringing Carlton back into it, because he got the ball down to Elvin late in the third term for a goal. It's now 88-87.
And really, those boundary line issues are very important. The North Melbourne players probably should have tried a little bit harder to get the ball over the boundary line. As it was, Bradley kept it in play and made something out of absolutely nothing, and Tarzan finishes off with a great goal.
Back to the centre. North Melbourne by one solitary point. Gallagher tries to tap it on. Players race at the ball. Still on centre wing. Craig Scholl gets a favourable bounce. Wild hand pass, tapped on by Rock. Matty Larkin, nearly unloaded centre of the ground. In fact, he's going to get a free kick. Was the advantage paid? No. It'll come back to Larkin. The Carlton players objecting to that free kick, particularly Wayne Aythorne. Mark Aythorne, I should say. And there's Anthony Rock. He's okay. At Larkin.
That really does have to be a free kick, an indiscriminate kick like that. You've got to protect the guy who has his head down going for the ball.
Yes, good comment that, Tim. 2 bites to the cherry down there by McCarthy. No mark. Play on, the umpire calls. As that's Cavidan to Elvin. Elvin at half back, the chip pass. Bradley. No, it's not, it's Tarkson. Brett Allison picking him up. Tarkson in towards half forward. Martin and Kernahan. Good play by Kernahan. To tap it on. This is Brayshaw. Oh, he's tapped it straight back to Elvin. Elvin off the side of the boot. DeLulio was marked 30 metres from goal.
And was nearly off.
Well, not good play by Brayshaw. And DeLulio, he had the pace to get back.
That was poor play then by Mark Brayshaw, and probably if you're going to criticise Mark in any way, you'd have to say that at times he does make silly mistakes like that.
DeLulio for goal number 4, and he's kicked it. Well, the Blues lead by 5 points.
And the DeLulio proving a real live wire in the forward line. That is his 4th goal this evening, and they've been looking for someone in their forward line to kick goals on a regular basis, and maybe tonight they've found him in number 34.
4 goals to DeLulio. North Melbourne trailing by 5 points. And again, that scoreboard in favourable to the goal kicking. Carlton through Spalding. Now towards left half forward, the 2 number 4s again. Martin gets there in front of Kernahan on this occasion, goes for the boundary line, and he keeps it away from Brett Scholl. Boundary throw in outside 50. So the pressure on North Melbourne to try to regroup. Carlton getting the run on early in the final term. Kernahan and Gallagher. On to Chandler. Chandler's kick is high. Crocker had a great third quarter. Aitken beats him on this occasion. Kicks the ball back across his body. Same player takes the mark. Unloads with a hand pass. On to Brett Scholl. That's a shocking kick. And that has gone out of bounds on the full. Well, North Melbourne making a few mistakes early in the final quarter. Carlton so far has been able to capitalise. Two quick goals. The Blues. Aitken's kick. It's out of bounds as well.
And you've got to wonder whether or not it's worth it to handball like Chandler did on that occasion. 1 yard to a player such as Scholl, who put him under pressure. Really a wasted possession of the football.
Kernahan over the top. No clean possession so far. Finally Martin gives out a hand pass. Ill-directed. Bradley. Good tackle. Scholl. That's a throw. And Scholl will take the free kick for North Melbourne at the right half-back flank. North needing a goal to get back in front. Craig Scholl kicks to centre wing. Hannah taken out of the contest. Not for very long though, the Blues. Here they come once more. Out to Cavidan on the end of a hand pass. Kicks up towards midfield. Marking contest out there. No one can take it. Roving the pack well is Ross Smith.
Carey and Hannah. A lot of holding on going on between those two. Ramiro goes in after the little rover. That was Archer. Now Aiken drops it. Now Carey. Carey looking for an option. He's found one in Spargo. Spargo in towards the forward pocket. Which way will it bounce? At the back, McCarthy used his body beautifully, but forces it over the line. He seems to be limping, John McCarthy.
He does.
Yes, and Paul Spargo really not having many options then when he kicked that ball, and choosing probably correctly to kick it to space.
5 points the margin. Two very evenly matched sides. A vital game for both sides early in the season. Now what's going on here? Is the umpire just doing up his Brian Fan doing up his shoelace and gets the hoots of both sides then, Tim?
And rightfully so. He's got no right holding this game up, Peter. The crowd are enjoying it. We're enjoying it. The people back home are enjoying it.
Telling him to pull up his socks perhaps.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Cavidan versus Carey. It's tapped over the back. This could favour North Melbourne. This bounce off the ground when Aiken has got back up support from Sexton. Sexton will go to the line, I would imagine, and he disguised that beautifully. So it'll be a throw-in, still on North Melbourne's half-forward line.
That doing the lace-up trick, that's an old one, isn't it? Just to get a bit of a breather. I used to do that at training all the time.
Well, there's Cavidan tapping it down with the left hand. Crocker shoved out of it by Kernahan, who looks fairly tired and quite happy to see that ball go over the line.
David Kernahan, solid performance again tonight at fullback. Cavidan, number 40, does battle with Carey, who wins that exchange. Adrian Gleeson on the end of it though. Kicks it around the boundary line. Over the top was Gallagher, couldn't take the mark. Spalding, the hand pass too long for Scholl, but he'll get it back again. No, he won't. Chandler, Gallagher, Hogg, the former Footscray player, kicks up towards centre field. Most important ball this one to gain control of. Ross Smith does just that. The pass was not a good one down towards centre half forward. Rock might be able to make amends. Archer comes in to lend him support, tries to kick it off the ground, and he kicked Brown's head off. Brown finally wins the ball. Good hand pass, but it comes back to Ross Smith. Knock on by Dennis. Hand pass out to McCarthy directly in front, has missed. And only one behind to make the difference, 4 points.
And the pressure is really on out there. There'll be lots of mistakes in this last quarter, I think. The game has been played at breakneck speed and the players appear not to be letting up at all.
Yes, I agree with you, Tim. This is a terrific game of football. The tackling and the pressure. Just great game. And this man's put Wayne Carey. He hasn't had many touches, Millen Hannah, but his opponent hasn't done a lot. He's kept him under pressure all night. And that's Wayne Carey I'm talking of. Oh, good thump on over the back. DeLilio with pace. Sockers it off the ground. Oh, great pick-up by Allison. That was magnificent. On to Ross Smith. Smith to the half-forward line. Well, Carey couldn't get there. Sexton versus Carey. Scholl is there. Sexton again. And he kicks it to the line. He's done plenty of that tonight. And he has put it over right out on centre wing.
Boundary throw in. 17.5 minutes left in the match. Gallagher with DeLulio. Now it's Cavidan. Cavidan wins, gets it to Gleeson. From a standing start up towards almost half forward. Sporting was glad they're not in possession, must get the free kick. By Brian Sheehan calls play on. Kernahan, Martin over the top, good spoil. Out of boundary throw in, but
he's given him a free kick.
Well, what did you think of that one, Tim?
I thought that was a free kick, definitely. And arm on the shoulder, over the shoulder, in the back.
Everything.
I don't think you can argue with that one.
Do you want to argue about that one?
Not that one.
Well, Steve Kernahan's done well from the umpires tonight. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. Right on the boundary line, pretty difficult shot. I think he might have kicked 2 goals, 2. Now he has. So behind the Carlton skipper, with 16 and a half minutes left in the match, 89 to 94. So just still the 1 kick in it. Brett Agelson will bring the ball back into play. He's gone short, can be dangerous, but he's found Scholl. That's Brayshaw, rather. Brayshaw to the member stand side. Dennis, the target, was outnumbered in that marking contest. Is that a push out? The umpire says no. Ross Smith again with a quick kick, and it'll see Gleeson send it back.
Half forward for North Melbourne, a lot of courage shown here. Tommy Alvin on the left foot, hooks a goal and slams it through for a great goal.
3 goals to Alvin.
A vital break. Carlton lead by 11 points.
That was never going to be Tommy Alvin's ball, that one. He came from absolutely nowhere. I don't think Tom even expected to mark that one. Swung onto his left foot for a wonderful snap, and that's Tom Alvin's 3rd goal this evening.
A great goal to Alvin. Gives Carlton a vital lead. North Melbourne need the next goal. Here's Spargo. A quick kick to the half-forward line. Oh, courage shown. And that was by Adrian Gleeson.
Ramiro off, replaced by Anthony Dwyer.
And Peter, I'd be thinking of putting perhaps Wayne Carey on the ball at this stage. He has been held down in the forward line, and it'd be worth a try.
2 Carlton players race at it. DeLulio has the front position. Scholl in hot pursuit. DeLulio quick. Meldrum applies a good shepherd. Alvin again. He's made it number 4. There would not be too many games in which Tom Alvin has kicked 4 goals. It's probably the first. 13-11 to 16-10.
Tom Alvin, who's played 153 games of AFL football, has only kicked 53 goals in that time, and he's kicked another 4 this evening, and they've all been valuable snaps.
Back to the centre. Carlton getting on top again. What a seesawing game this has been. There's Chandler. North badly need a couple of quick goals. That was Gallagher getting it on to Anthony Dwyer. Dwyer to the half-forward line is stopped away by Sexton. The North players overrun the ball. Off the side of the boot deliberately, that was by Aiken. It was good play. Here's Richard Dennis battling his heart out. He's got backup support now. This is Ross Smith around the corner. Good play, but it's all Carlton. And the North forwards letting their teammates down there, not putting enough pressure on that Carlton defence. There's Sexton copping one high against Gallagher, and it had to be a free kick. But those North forwards did not work hard enough, Tim.
Sexton up towards midfield. There's Ross Smith, who has not stopped trying. Out to half forward. And McCarthy has taken the mark. A long way clear from his opponent on that occasion. Carey in the goal square. Looks a little proppy at the moment. But John McCarthy, kick number 7. He's kicked 1 goal, 2 so far. And not a goal on that occasion. So 1-3 13-12 to 16-10. 16 points the difference. Mill Hanna to kick in. 13 and a half minutes left in the match. Aythorne makes it lead. Hanna decides to ignore that. North needing some goals quickly. Scoreboard ends certainly the one favoured. He's kicked to the outer side. He's found Fraser Brown. He goes long, looks for Cavidan, finds him. Spectacular mark over Scholl. Play on, says umpire Sheehan. And Brown chips into space.
And the Carlton team, a very fit one, appearing to outrun North Melbourne in this last quarter.
Martin punches clear, only to see Gleeson on the end of it. Gleeson around the boundary line, could goal from there, inside 50. That looks pretty good. The Blues are just about home. Magnificent goal, kicked by Adrian Gleeson. And Carlton now take their score to 17-10. North Melbourne 13-12.
When you're hot, aren't you? Adrian Gleeson running into the wrong pocket. He screws it back on his right foot, and Carlton really are doing everything right.
Michael Gallagher off the ground. Donald McDonald on. He looked very tired. Michael Gallagher. Carlton, a new lease of life. They have really come back hard at North as the kick is sailed right across the ground by David Kernahan and over the line. But we see North so often get so close and yet they can't go on with it. But Carlton, very, very fit. David Kernahan looks as they might have damaged a hip. North Melbourne through Dwyer. Ross Smith has battled his heart out all night. There's the kick in towards the forward line. McCarthy comes from the back. Carlton are too good in defence. Crocker off the ground. Here's a chance, Richard Dennis. Oh, no. From 30 metres, he could have walked in and put it through. Easy as you like. He's missed it by about 6 metres.
It's very difficult to kick the ball off one step. He should have taken at least another 2 steps and drawn Milan Hammer and handballed the ball over, as we see David Kernahan limping off the ground.
Ratton takes the mark in front of Dennis. Kernahan will be replaced by Arsiri. There's Tommy Alvin, who's kicked 4 goals tonight. Brown to Hanna. Hanna kicks to centre wing, fairly punches the ball down. Gleeson overruns it, follows it up well. Gleeson kicking that last goal, which may have made the game safe for Carlton. Crocker gives it quickly to Allison. Allison with a little chip pass down towards half forward, and Rock goes over the top. Allison gets it back again from Crocker. The Roos surely can go here through Dwyer, and they have done. So Anthony Dwyer kicks his second goal and gives North Melbourne some hope. 14-13 to 17-10.
And North Melbourne are going to have to get the ball out of the centre here and drive it forward quickly once again. We see them moving the ball down with some handballs, and a couple of players have gone quiet in this last quarter. Matthew Larkin really does need to come to the fore again. They need him very badly, the North Melbourne team.
Well, maybe there's life for North yet. 3 straight kicks would put them in front. Ross Smith played a terrific game for North Melbourne. 23 kicks and 4 handballs. There's Anthony Rock going to ground. Gleeson caught. On it went to Hogg. Hogg to the half-forward line. Racing out of his Brayshaw. He kept his eyes on it. Quick kick by Ratton. And that's a fortune Athena with Asiri. And away go Carlton again. From 40 metres, Mark Asiri. Kernahan versus Michael Martin. Well done by Martin. The dangerous DeLulio. He's still there. So is Kernahan. It's socket off the ground. And it will be a throw-in deep in that forward pocket. Anthony Rock looks as though he's hurt himself in that centre incident a minute or so ago.
Boundary throw-in. Kernahan and McDonald. Won by Kernahan. No one there though for Carlton. DeLulio applies the tackle. Chandler's kick is a quick one. And only to see Craig Bradley take the mark right on 50. Spargo stands the mark. Bradley goes short. Kernahan the target. Spargo crumbs it well. He's in defensive 50-metre line. He will kick the ball to the centre wing position. Rock at the back. Seems to be moving okay now. German. Away he goes. Can the Roos go all the way with this? Outside 50, the kick on its way. Looks good and is there. What a game of football. Peter German, a la Phil Manassa, 15-13 to 17-10.
And that ball moved from Carlton's back forward pocket. A long kick by Spargo down the ground, and it was Crumb. German got the handball, took a couple of bounces, and was so often seen in his career kicking a long goal on the run.
Well, can North Melbourne do the impossible? 9 points. They need the next goal. Tapped on again. Which way will it bounce? Aiken out of defence. The kick to the half-forward line. It clears the pack. Players race at it. Sheer determination by Ross Smith. The dangerous Bradley. Bradley to Asiri. Brett Ellison tried to run him down. Was that in the back? Umpire said no. Wayne Carey looks as though he's been moved to defence. And the ball rolls over the line. There's plenty of time. Over 9 minutes of play left.
Yes, Wayne Carey is at centre half back now on Earl Spalding, and Donald McDonald is in the ruck and providing him with a little bit more life than Gallagher was towards the end of that third quarter.
Asiri, snapshot. Oh, there he is, Carey, to take the mark.
Touched off the boot, I think, Pete.
Well, you've got good eyes.
Well, the umpire, well, that's the only reason he wouldn't have paid the mark.
Looked a pretty good grab otherwise, didn't it? So a throw in, or a bounce I should say, 103 to 112 in Carlton's favour. Oh gee, that's rushed through.
Oh, really got his boot to that, didn't he?
That was Bradley, very quick. Injuries, let's see, David Kernahan was the last to go off. Gerard Healy, what's the news there?
Well, Carlton will have to go all the way with the 18 men on the field because David Kernahan has torn a groin muscle. He won't be back on the field, and of course Stephen Silvani is out of condition.
43,000 here tonight at the MCG, enjoying this match. It's been a top one from start to near finish now. Asiri, a late tackle, it wasn't good enough. Aythorne, good tackle by Spargo, and the ball will be out of bounds. That suits Carlton with 8 minutes and a bit left in this match. Boundary thrown on the member stand side, right next to the interchange area. That's right half forward flank for the Blues. McDonald in front, Spalding, Gleeson, tackled well by Dwyer. The ball spills free. Ratton quickly. Aythorne from Bradley. Back it comes to centre wing. Good tackle by Chandler on Spalding. Held him long in the tackle, but the ball is over the line once more for a throw-in. Will Spalding, like plenty of other players out there, looks pretty tired. And gets up with, well, a little bit of a knock he got there.
He's been a good recruit for Carlton, Spalding.
Boundary throw-in once more. Chandler, tackled by Scholl. Spalding once more. Ross Smith, kick number 25. Magnificent game he's had. At the back is Cavidan, couldn't take the mark. He's got backup support from Aitken. Aitken can come out wide and find Bradley, which he does. Bradley at right half-back flank. Unloads with a quick hand pass. The Blues are away again. That's Hogg. Hogg centering kick to half-forward. Almost a mark taken by Archer. Should have taken it. DeLulio tries to tie him up. Does so on a bounce.
Well, this game's not over yet. North Melbourne fighting hard. They've got just under 7 minutes of play. And they really need to score 2 goals because they trail by 10 points. At half-forward for Carlton. Kernahan leaps high. There's Ross Smith again. What a game he's played. In towards the centre of the ground. Players set themselves a good mark to Gleeson. Very clever mark. He held his ground and Dwyer didn't. Gleeson will go for the long bomb. In towards Kernahan. He fires from the back. He can't take the mark. Steve Kernahan on the left foot. In towards Spalding. The bounce favours Allison. Players pouncing on top of it. And it'll be a bounce right in front of the Carlton goal.
And the pressure then was terrific, wasn't it? A little bit critical then of Dwyer in the centre of the ground. Although he was out of position to mark the ball, he should really have made it a contest rather than having Gleeson take a clear mark like that.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing, Tim. Well, there is tapped down. The quick kick by Ross Smith out towards, no, there he is now, Ross Smith, but it's taken by Bradley from the boundary line. Oh, he's kicked it straight to Mark Asiri, who is only 30 metres from goal, almost directly in front.
Craig Bradley not looking up then for a player, but the players do know that they centre the ball in a boundary line situation such as that, and Mark Arceri is in the right position to take the ball.
Here's the kick from Arceri, and he has goal. Mark Arceri has kicked his second, and it'll be very difficult for North Melbourne now.
Yes, they've slipped a little bit further behind now. It's going to be very difficult for them to come back and win this game. Arceri, a former North Melbourne player, kicking plenty of goals for North Melbourne, and he'll be very pleased to kick this goal against his old team.
Arceri's second goal. 16 points the difference. The job is pretty hard for North now. Scholl to Gleeson. The Blues well out of the centre, and Aythorne. Aythorne at right centre wing. Archer underneath it. Arceri, good attempt to mark. Allison, knowing that things are getting pretty desperate for North Melbourne now, fairly in front of Hannah. McDonald going past with good speed. Tries for the spiral punt kick. Didn't really come off. Marking contest at half forward. Ball rebounds to Crocker. A high kick. No one in the goal square. 3 Carlton players are there. They could have rattled it. And Tommy Albert in the last line of defence takes the grab. He's already kicked 4 goals for his side. Gleeson covering plenty of territory. Himself kicked a magnificent goal at the other end. On to Mill Hannah, who's done a very serviceable job again tonight. He's having a good season, Hannah. Spalding got one hand to it, beaten forward in the end by Chandler, but the boundary line is too close. Throw it on centre wing, 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the match. And repeating the attendance tonight, 43,231. On centre wing, McDonald and Spalding. Ratton runs into trouble, gets out of it just as easily. And kicks to half forward. Carey takes the mark. 2 North Melbourne players are there. The Roos must make something of this. Matthew Larkin playing his 150th, but we haven't seen too much of him lately, and that's a good mark taken by McCarthy.
Good pass too. He kept it low that time, Tim.
Yes, that's a perfect kick to the forward line. Often critical of the way players kick to their forwards. You've got to kick the ball to the advantage of the forward.
John McCarthy from 45 metres. They need this North Melbourne. It's not a bad looking kick, but he has missed, and he has missed a few sitters tonight, John McCarthy. And as time ticks down, that might have been their last opportunity. Aiken to the half-back line. Scholl couldn't take the mark. The loose ball. Fraser Brown, a greatly improved player, Fraser Brown, to the half-forward line. The loose ball tapped on, went to Gleeson. That was from Brayshaw, the North Melbourne player. Kernahan, the chip pass. Tapped away by Allison over the line with valuable seconds. 3 minutes of play left, and North Melbourne look as though it's curtains for them for tonight.
And Allison's been a much better player since he went to the back line.
McDonald and Kernahan. McDonald wins it. Good tackle applied by Albert on German, who's still got his kick to his credit. Cavidan. Long kick. Good 50 metres. North Melbourne players dropping back. Brayshaw. Carlton through DeLulio. Did that hit the behind post? Came pretty close to it. It's out of bounds anyway. So we will see a throw in right next to the behind post with 2.5 minutes left in the match. DeLulio kicking 4 goals tonight. 4 goals 2 he's got. He's been pretty elusive up forward. Throw it in Carlton's right forward pocket. Ross Smith, possession number 31. Played his heart out tonight. Gleeson on the end of the kick though. Too far out to score, but importantly for the Blues, he has possession. So North Melbourne, like they were against Hawthorn last week, competitive for 7/8 of the game, but outscored. Gleeson's kick into the square. DeLulio. He's been paid the mark, has he? He's come down with the football.
Well, he did. He grabbed it once, went and grabbed it again, and
let's take a look at it.
It's got to be a mark.
Ooh. A few hands there. Anyway, he's been paid it. He's kicked 4. Kick number 12. Point blank range. And that really does make it safe. He's kicked 5. 5 goals to Ron DeLulio as Carlton go to 19-11, 125. North Melbourne 15-14, 104.
And DeLillo really knocking that ball out the first time and grabbing it a second time. About to run on and try for a goal, but had the presence of mind to go back and snap the goal. And Carlton really have a player in DeLillo.
Yes, a real find. Anthony Rock might have done a hamstring. I saw him really limping off a moment ago. 19-11 to 15-14. Chandler has done a pretty good job on Bradley in the second half. Bradley cut North to pieces in the first. Here's Matthew Hogg, the former Footscray back pocket player. Socket off the ground that is out of bounds on the full. Crocker will want to get rid of this pretty quickly as the time clock shows 1.5 minutes of play left in this match. Crocker in towards half forward. Dennis has it thumped away by Caverton. Haythorn. Caverton again. Now Richard Dennis. Scholl. Craig Scholl will run the 55 metres. The long kick in of full forward. McCarthy will go the fly and it's a goal. A belated goal to Craig Scholl. All too late with a minute of play left. 19-11 to 16-14.
This was a long goal then by Craig Scholl. Dennis handballing the ball back. Scholl selling the dummy, then running and kicking. And John McCarthy thinking better about having a try to mark that and almost shepherding through in the end.
Back into the centre, 1 minute to go in this match, 15 points the difference, so no chance for North now. Alvin, who's kicked 4 goals tonight, up towards the 50-metre line for his side. Bradley, who had an excellent first half. Gleeson. It's been a pretty solid game all around. Bradley. Carey. German runs with him, he goes long. Up to the centre wing position. Aitken tried to fist the ball away. Had a fresh air shot. Larkin picks it up in front of Aythorn. Not too much support. Finally gives it with a little short pass to Spargo in towards full forward. And a good mark taken by Sexton. He's found a teammate out there in the back pocket in Aitken. And away go the Blues once more. Gleeson, who's covered a lot of territory tonight. Alvin had a great game as well. Caverton from midfield. The clock ticks down. Almost siren time. Can the Blues get another one? There it is. Spalding sockers it through. But it won't be a score. It doesn't matter. Carlton running out winners 19-11, 125 to North Melbourne 16-14, 110. What a game of football. A superb night match, Pete. One of the best I've seen.
Oh, it was a terrific game of football. At just various stages you weren't sure which side was going to win, but full marks to Carlton because North came back at them in the third quarter and yet Carlton lifted. And they're a different side this year. They've had a couple of good, strong wins. They beat Hawthorn, proved it wasn't a fluke. But we'll throw down to Gerard Healy, who has Steve Silvani, who was unfortunately injured early in the game, with him.
That he was, Peter. Well, Steve, it was a very tight game. You'd be rapt to get the 4 points.
Oh yeah, it was a 4-quarter effort and the boys played very well.
Well, you've certainly answered your critics this year with good wins so far, 3-love and sitting on top of the ladder.
Yeah, the boys have worked hard over the summer and we've picked up some very good players, so it makes a big difference to the side.
And one of those is yet to play. He's going to be a bonus when he gets back into the game.
Certainly will. He should feed the forwards and we'll all look forward to seeing him play in a couple of weeks.
And how's the ankle injury?
Yeah, just a bit of a jar and hopefully I'll be right for next week.
Well, enjoy the celebrations. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks very much.
I presume they're talking about Greg Williams. So let's check the final score. 16-14, 110 North, going down to Carlton, who beat 7 goals 2 in the last quarter. 19-11, 125.